So welcome everybody to our session today on the Costa Rica RPA training and AI hackathon for 2023. We're very excited to have you here. So I just want to introduce the team, but before I do, I want to give a big shout out to a couple of our partners who have helped us with this. So from Cindy, Priscilla Quintero, and Natalia Carvajal have been really instrumental in working with our teams. And then also from Centrofec, Thomas de Carmelos Beck has also agreed to host the hackathon there. So we're very excited. So partnering on this hackathon is UiPath. I'm Diana Gray. I'm the Community Marketing Manager at UiPath. And on my team, I have Priya Darshini. She will be talking today about RPA, the training, and I also have, and Priya is a 4-time UiPath MVP. I also have Sebastian Villalobos, who's a 2-time UiPath MVP. He'll be translating into Spanish today. And then we have Jose Chinchilla, who's a UiPath MVP. Both Sebastian and Jose are from Costa Rica, so they'll be joining you guys in person. And Jeremy Gilliland is a UiPath MVP too, who specializes in hackathons. And then on the Greenlight side, we have Melanie Lamb, who's the Innovation Director at Greenlight Consulting. We have Louis Goldenberg, who will be talking today. He's the lead RPA consultant at Greenlight Consulting. And then we have Hudson Sheffield, who's a senior RPA business analyst. Vidhi Patel, who is an RPA developer, and Haleen Bonilla, who is a Bots Ops RPA developer. So I'm going to move into the agenda. So I just introduced our team, and we're going to be talking a little bit today about why join the UiPath and Greenlight Consulting AI Hackathon 2023. We're really excited that you're here today. We're going to talk to you about how to enroll in the hackathon. Priya and Sebastian will be going through RPA 101 introduction and training. And then we will take a platform tour, talking to you about the various products and components. And we will be doing some question and answering about RPA training. Also, we will put in chat quite a bit of information. We're going to put the information on how to apply or register for the hackathon, where you can find the recording sessions, and quite a bunch of information about our office hours that we're going to be hosting, and some other information we'll let you know about as we go through this. For the hackathon details, we'll be doing that after the training with RPA. So we'll be talking about the timelines, how you can participate, how do you register, overview of rules and categories, the judging criteria and prizes, submission guidelines, tips on identifying your use case, and tips on how to present and demonstrate your idea or project. So, Sebastian, do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, sure. Hola a todos. Bueno, hoy tenemos una agenda bastante llena. Vamos a empezar, introduciendo al equipo. Mucho gusto, mi nombre es Sebastián y voy a estar ayudando a Priya en la traducción de lo que es la plataforma. Agradecemos a Greenline Consulting por este hackathon y por ser uno de los sponsors principales de poder llevar a cabo esto. También vamos a hablar de cómo registrarse para el hackathon y vamos a tener un training en qué es RPA desde cero. Así que si nunca han oído RPA, es un buen momento para aprender un poquito de qué es. Vamos también a mostrar un poco la plataforma de UiPath. Vamos a ver diferentes productos. No solamente, UiPath no solamente hace RPA, sino hace automatización. Y es parte de lo que vamos a ver hoy. Y por supuesto, todo lo que tiene que ver relacionado con Hackathon, cuándo hay que registrarse, cuándo hay que entregar el proyecto, cómo podemos participar, quiénes pueden participar, y todos esos datos los vamos a estar dando durante la sesión. You're good to continue, Diana.
Okay. Okay, so we just want to shout out, why should you join the RPA Hackathon? This is really an opportunity for people in Costa Rica to learn, to have fun, to look great. This looks great on your resume if you can say that you are part of a hackathon, and we are here to help you. You saw how big our team is. We're here to hold office hours, training, whatever it is you need, and you'll find out more about our resources in just a minute. So, Sebastian, do you want to?
Yes. Bueno, parte de lo que queremos es que aprendan. Esto sin duda es un viaje, una oportunidad de aprendizaje bastante grande. Disfrutarlo, por supuesto, porque para eso es para que lo disfruten, para que aprendan y puedan tener ahí ese espíritu competitivo dentro de la actividad. Sin duda también es algo que pueden incluir en su currículum vitae. Les va a dar muy buenas recomendaciones sobre su grado de RPA, de interés en las herramientas, de automatización. Y somos un equipo bastante grande. Entonces, estamos aquí para ayudarlos y en cualquier cosa que ocupen. Ahí en el link, y creo que en el chat lo vamos a poner, ese es el link que vamos a estar usando para poder registrarse en Hackathon. Y ahorita lo vamos a postear, pero si no lo han hecho, háganlo, por favor.
Great. And this is also your opportunity to showcase Costa Rica and what you guys can do to UiPath and Greenlight Consulting.
Sí, sin duda, esto es también el hackathon. Vamos a ver que las temáticas hablan de cómo, de mostrar las bondades de Costa Rica a través de automatizaciones. Entonces también es una buena oportunidad para eso.
Great, thank you. So now I'm going to have Lewis do a few slides.
All right. Thank you very much, Diana. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining. So we're just going to give a bit of a high-level overview of what RPA actually is, just so you all have a better kind of understanding coming into this. So RPA stands for Robotic Process Automation. And what the point of it is, or what it's really about, is using robotic software to automate the tasks that we as people do today. So this can include any sort of tasks that you may perform across different applications, such as clicking your mouse, typing on your keyboard, putting some information into a system. And the idea being that these robots are able to do those same things. So the goal of that is really to take away a lot of the tedious, repetitive work that we as humans have to do every day as part of our jobs, part of our schooling, whatever that might be, and free us up to be able to focus on the type of stuff that we enjoy doing instead, right? A lot of you are coming from universities. I'm sure this is what you're going for with your degrees. You're probably not doing your degrees to be able to sit in front of a computer and do Excel spreadsheets all day long. So this is something where it can take that work off of you of having to do that and just provide you the output at the end so that you're able to focus on what you really enjoy doing. So it leverages your knowledge, your skills to be able to help deliver and add value. You can engage with these robots to give your judgmental calls on it. So the bots can do a lot of the work and then just say, hey, please tell me what I should do at this point. You give it an option and it can drive forward from that point. So it really is about kind of opening it up and letting you be able to do what you really want to do, taking a lot of that work off of you that you have to do every day. That is just that mundane type of work. We also have a couple links on here just for some videos, just so you guys can see some of the things that this can do. Some of these are a little advanced in some of their capabilities, but these will go through and show you how the RPA software can work with reading information from documents, working with things like a GPT model, so generative AI, being able to come up with some information or have a conversation with a person through a conversational AI type approach. And also just how you might interact with different applications, whether that be through the UI, you can interact through something like a web service or an API. and just opens it up to being able to let you automate essentially any sort of application, whether it be a desktop or a web application. Sebastian?
Yes, thanks, Luz. Lo que Luis nos estaba comentando es sobre qué es RPA, y RPA significa Robotic Process Automation, o en español, automación robótica de procesos, y es una tecnología que permite emular lo que hacemos los seres humanos detrás de una computadora. Entonces, navegar en una página web, copiar texto de un lugar a otro, abrir una página y loguearse, poder mover datos de una hoja de Excel, enviar un correo. Todos estos tipos de tareas son tareas que pueden hacer RPA, y la idea es poder sacar el robot del humano, de que nosotros dejemos de hacer tareas repetitivas, poder darle esas a los robots y poder enfocarnos en tareas que tengan tal vez una dificultad más grande cognitivamente. Hay varios productos, y hoy vamos a ver varios, pero RPA también puede hacer el enlace entre otro tipo de tecnologías, como uno que se llama Document Understanding, que permite extraer datos de documentos, o también, no sé si han oído últimamente de inteligencia artificial generativa. UiPath puede integrarse con estos tipos de motores y poder hacer casos de uso utilizando estas tecnologías. Y hay muchas formas que vamos a estar viendo durante el resto de la sesión.
Perfect. Next slide, Diana. So just as part of this this hackathon, we just want to give you a list of some of the different sort of products and capabilities that UiPath has that you'll be able to use through the platform. You don't have to use every single one of these, of course. There are a couple that you're going to have to use, such as the UiPath Studio, whether that be Studio, Studio X, or Studio Web. These are just kind of the development environment where you're going to build your automations. But aside from that, there's UiPath has a number of different types of products and solutions that you can use as part of your use cases that you're building out. So whether it be something that you want to, as an example, read from the PDF document, you could use something like document understanding. If you want to have a human included inside your process, where maybe the robot does some work, present something to a person for them to make a decision, you could use something like Action Center to be able to do that. So there's a number of different products that are available through this. You'll have access to all of these through the UiPath platform. Priya will be showing you later how you gain access to that, so you can sign up for your own community instance. And all the training for these products, they're all available on UiPath Academy. We'll provide a link for that as well, so you can get a little bit of training and understand a little bit more of how each of these work. And then UiPath also has a documentation center. We'll provide that link for you as well, which goes through every single one of the products and capabilities that they have, tells you exactly how they work, how you're going to interact with them, so that you can build out the automation that you want to as part of this hackathon.
Y como nos comentaba Luis, aquí en esta imagen podemos ver un montón de productos que tienen, empezando desde el orquestador, después brincando lo que son estudios, y estudios. Dentro de estudios tenemos diferentes tipos de estudio. Tenemos estudio web, estudio X, estudio. Priya más adelante nos va a mencionar cuáles son las diferencias, cuándo usar uno versus otro. También podemos tener diferentes escenarios donde necesitamos involucrar robots y personas. Eso productos como UiPath Apps o Action Center nos permiten hacer estos enlaces cuando necesitamos un humano que tal vez tome decisiones dentro del proceso de automatización. Tenemos otros servicios o otros productos como Integration Services que permiten hacer conexiones con otros softwares, con otras plataformas de manera muy sencilla. O tal vez si necesitamos extraer información de un PDF o documentos, Document Understanding es una buena opción y nos puede ayudar cuando tengamos esos tipos de casos de uso. Tenemos varios productos. Hoy no vamos a poder cubrirlos todos, pero los que son más core para el tema de automatización, sin duda los vamos a estar viendo, y Priya nos va a ayudar a hacer un recorrido sobre ellos.
Thanks, Sebastian. Okay, so I'm going to get out of this. So while we're waiting for Priya to share her slides, I do want to put in here how to enroll for the hackathon in the chat. So Let's see. So if everybody would take a minute and please sign up for the hackathon while you can. This is going to be open till the end of August. And you'll see the dates and everything as we go through the presentation. But we would really love to have you guys. And it's okay if you're new to this process. Again, we'll be here to help you. So we do encourage you to join us. Thank you.
Y lo que nos acaba de decir Diana es, por favor, si no lo han hecho, regístrense. Acabamos de volver a postear los links en el chat. Lo podemos hacer hasta el final de agosto, pero entre lo hagamos lo más pronto posible mejor para tener todos los recursos necesarios. Entonces, en el chat está el link, así que por favor tomen el tiempo y regístrense. Y ahorita vamos a ver una presentación que nos va a dar Priya sobre qué es RPA.
So now I'm going to turn it over to Priya to start with the introduction to RPA training.
Thanks, Diana. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
The right one? Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our RPA training. And thank you for taking the time on your weekend to learn about RPA. And I promise you, you're not going to be disappointed because RPA is a skill that you want to have on your resume, whether you're taking up a career in AI or not. So I would say that RPA is your first stepping stone into the AI journey that will help you add on to it and increase your capabilities with it. So let's dive in to learning what's RPA. So for today's agenda, I have we're going to see what is RPA and the myths around RPA. And we're going to see the benefits of using RPA and how do you use it within the UiPath platform. Like Luis mentioned, there are lots of products that are available within the UiPath platform. So we are going to look at some of the core components for you to get started. And then we'll help you with the environment setup. And we'll take a look at the studio family and followed by a demo. Okay. So like Luis was mentioning earlier, RPA is a software technology. So it's a program that basically mimics your human actions. So on a day-to-day basis, everybody that uses a computer either uses their keyboard, their mouse movements, or you read from your computer screen. So that's what the RPA is gonna exactly do the same actions as humans so that you can focus on other tasks that you will need your cognitive capabilities for. So if you're using any of these keyboard interactions or mouse movements or reading from the screen, you can build a robot to do that for you. Sebastian, do you want to?
Yep, thank you, Priya. Y Priya lo que nos está comentando es sobre qué es RPA y qué cosas pueden hacer. Y es parte de lo que les comentábamos al inicio, ¿verdad? Y esta tecnología lo que permite es imitar lo que un humano haría detrás de una computadora. Como qué tipo de cosas. Escribir por medio del teclado o hacer clics en los elementos que aparecen en la pantalla o inclusive poder extraer información de una página web. Digamos que tengamos precios de algún tipo de producto o de tal vez de tipo de divisas. UiPath puede utilizarse para poder extraer esa información y, no sé, ponerla en Excel, enviarla por correo, para un montón de cosas.
Okay. Thank you. So now that we know what RPA is, when you hear about the robotic process automation for the first time, there is a lot of myth around the word robotic. So as a human nature, when we hear robots, we've always looked at in the movies or in the videos where a robot is a physical form. That's like a humanoid that's standing next to you. But RPA in this case, again, it's a software program that's installed on your computer or on a virtual machine where it runs the jobs for you. So RPA is not a humanoid form, and it's absolutely not a human replacement. most of the larger organizations, when they hear about RPA for the first time, there is a fear around this whole concept around RPA, that RPA is going to take away their jobs, but that is not the case. You need to remember that RPA is just an assistant to enable you to do like higher value activities. And this is not a cost saving method just to do things like quickly. This is like really an assistant to help you enhance your work.
Y lo que nos comentaba Priya es que hay muchos mitos sobre automatización. Cuando vemos generalmente la palabra automatización, lo primero tal vez que se nos viene a la mente es, bueno, los robots nos van a quitar el trabajo. Y lo que hemos visto es que no es así, sino los robots le sacan esa parte, digamos, robótica del trabajo que hacemos y se lo da a los robots. Entonces ellos se convierten como un asistente y nos permite a nosotros los humanos lidiar con tareas más cognitivas donde los robots tal vez no son tan buenos. También RPA ayuda a disminuir costos, pero no es el único beneficio. Entonces esos son 3 mitos que usualmente cuando oímos la palabra RPA se nos pueden venir a la mente.
And we'll take a look at like what are the benefits of using RPA. So there are some major advantages of you using the RPA. Primarily is that robot is always like faster. So we humans can obviously like compete typing, but I always make typos. So I would always say there is an increased speed when the robots do that, and also very accurate. So, and also large organizations have compliance issues where the RPA process can be like scheduled on a regular basis and take a look at the regulatory compliance and complete that for you well ahead of time. And RPA definitely like reduces the cost of process execution, primarily because it's very accurate, and it also does it way faster. And once you start building these robots, it's very easy to scale, so that like when you start like automating tasks, like you can automate the entire process and add multiple robots. So these are like individual pieces that help you easily scale on a larger organization.
¿Cuáles son los beneficios de RPA? Bueno, sin duda los robots son muy rápidos y generalmente cuando automatizamos algo, los robots hacen ese algo mucho más rápido de lo que lo haría un ser humano. Entonces, velocidad es uno de los beneficios. También los robots ingresan la información o la capturan tal cual está en las pantallas, tal cual están los sistemas. Entonces, eso nos ayuda a aumentar la certeza de los datos y la precisión. Muchas veces, tal vez hay procesos que están sujetos a políticas o son regulados por medio de auditorías o algo así. Los robots también nos ayudan a que los procesos se vuelvan estándar y que siempre tengan, ¿verdad?, la misma forma de hacerse de principio a fin. Inclusive podemos auditar a los robots para saber qué es exactamente lo que están haciendo, y eso nos permite tener procesos más homogéneos y estándares. Reduce los costos de ejecución, porque podemos tener un robot en vez de una persona ejecutando los procesos, y eso generalmente nos lleva a traer ahorros en costos. Y por supuesto que también es fácil de escalar. Podemos poner a un robot a hacer una tarea y es muy fácil poner a 100 robots a hacer esa misma tarea. Entonces, esos son los beneficios que nos puede dar RPA.
Okay. Thanks, Sebastian. Now we'll look at some of the tasks that we can automate. So now that you know what is RPA, let's see what it's capable of. So on a day-to-day basis, most of us log into a certain application, go to a website, download certain files, move between the files and folders. And usually when you look at some data, you want to get that data out of that website. Or if you want to like extract the contents and send that documents or PDF and send it as an email, or like make certain calculations, and in a more technical way, like you could get the system APIs and connect using those ways. So now it's in your hands to take a look at your daily task and see what are the things that you do on a day-to-day basis, which may seem very mundane to you, that you may get bored of. So why not build an automation to help yourself have an assistant and do those tasks using those robots?
Y que Priya nos acaba de comentar sobre casos comunes. ¿Qué tipo de cosas podemos hacer con robots tangiblemente? En el slide tenemos varios. ¿Cómo lograr una aplicación? Los robots pueden hacer eso. Mover files de un folder a otro o enviarlos por correo es algo que es muy fácil para los robots. Escribir o leer datos de una base de datos. Sin duda es una tarea muy sencilla para RPA. Extraer información de una página web, lo habíamos mencionado anteriormente, o conectarnos con APIs, que es otra forma de intercambiar información entre sistemas. Podemos leer documentos, PDFs, imágenes, correos electrónicos, inclusive extraer los attachments o los archivos adjuntos que vienen en los correos y por supuesto hacer cálculos. Entonces, son muchas cosas las que robots pueden hacer y ¿por qué hacerlo, verdad? Nosotros una y otra vez si podemos dárselo a un robot que lo haga por nosotros.
Okay. Now that we want to automate, we need to know how to automate using the UiPath platform. So when Luis was showing the slide, he showed the entire products that are available like within UiPath platform, right? So we don't want to overwhelm you with all the products at the beginning. So let's start with 3 core components. So these are the 3 primary products that you will need to build your first robot. Very first thing that you will need is the UiPath Studio. Okay, so remember that Studio is the place, it's a canvas where you design your robots, where you grab each and every activity, every step. So you specify how you want to build your robot in the Studio. So that is where we are going to build our workflows. Okay, so those workflows will become as a package and given to the orchestrator. Now, the orchestrator is the place that is a central control system. That orchestrator will actually like control your robots, manage the execution, and manage how many robots that you want to have, and monitor how your robots are going to execute, and specify all the configurations that your robots will need. And then in order to execute the robot itself, you need the robot. So now the robot will be the one that will take the package from the orchestrator and execute those workflows with the configurations that you have specified within the orchestrator.
En este slide, Priya lo que nos está explicando es sobre, ok, ya hablamos un poquito de qué es posible, ahora, ¿cómo lo podemos hacer con UiPath? Luis, en uno de sus slides nos enseñaba que tenemos un montón de productos de UiPath. Acá en particular nos vamos a enfocar en 3. Uno es el estudio, y el estudio es un software que instalamos en la computadora o lo accesamos de forma por una página web, donde podemos crear las automatizaciones. Y básicamente lo que vamos a hacer es tomar actividades que ya UiPath ha escrito o que ha desarrollado y vamos a ir uniéndolas dependiendo de lo que queremos lograr. Entonces, el estudio es donde diseñamos la aplicación o la automatización, perdón. Una vez que la hemos diseñado, la vamos a subir a otro producto que se llama orquestador. Y esto lo que nos permite es poder articular y poder programar esas automatizaciones. También controlarlas. Si quiero correrlas a las 7 de la mañana todos los días, el orquestador es el que me va a permitir hacer esa función. Si yo quiero ver por qué falló la automatización o ver logs o ver cuál robot, si tengo 5 robots haciendo esta tarea o puedo poner uno, este tipo de funcionalidades son las que el orquestador nos va a permitir lograr. Y por último, tenemos un tercer componente que es el robot. El robot es un servicio que se instala también en la computadora y es el que verdaderamente ejecuta la automatización. Entonces, para hacer un rápido resumen, el estudio es donde diseño, el orquestador es donde controlo y los robots son los que verdaderamente ejecutan la automatización que fue diseñada en el estudio.
Okay. Now that you know that you will need the studio to design your workflows, UiPath offers 3 flavors of the studio. So the first and the newest product is the Studio Web. So the Studio Web is a web application which is available within the automation cloud that helps you automate for web-based automation. So if you have any web-based like sites that you want to automate your task, you could still use Studio Web. And this Studio Web is primarily used also for like testing cross-platform automations, which means like you could still use it on a Mac machine and like still use those apps like Microsoft 365 or Google or like any of those things you could use with Studio Web. Okay. And the second flavor is Studio X. With Studio X, you automate like simple tasks. This Studio X is primarily focused on like citizen developers who may not have the entire technical expertise to build like complex automations, but they have like simple tasks on a day-to-day basis that they want to achieve. They can still automate it using the Studio X. And this Studio X can easily like automate any applications that are native to your desktop. Excuse me. The Studio X can automate anything that you have installed on your machine as well. And the next one that we have is the Studio. So the Studio is the first product that came out that had like the entire layout that you can build for complex automations. With this Studio, you can do like advanced UI automations, and like any type of like error handling and debugging is available. And the Studio offers you like a wide variety of activities. And Studio is where you can build like complex automations with like large flowcharts and have several modularized components. You can have multiple workflows in there, and you can build complex automations using Studio. And one thing to know is that Studio and Studio X are being installed on your machine. So you will need to download them and install it on your machine to be able to use them. Versus Studio, the Studio Web, you can use that on the web itself. So once you sign up to the Automation Cloud portal, you can easily use them. And one catch is that like with the Mac machines, you cannot install the Studio or the Studio X. That is where like the Studio Web can help you use it using the browser itself.
Thank you, Priya. Priya, lo que nos está hablando un poco de los tres tipos de estudio que existen. El primero es el estudio web, que está principalmente enfocado en poder desarrollar automatizaciones que sean web-based o basadas en páginas web o eventos web. Esta es una plataforma que se accesa por medio de un portal y no requiere ningún tipo de instalación. Parte de las limitantes es que no podemos interactuar con aplicaciones locales. Por ejemplo, si tengo un SAP o tal vez si tengo un Oracle IBS, ese tipo de aplicaciones tal vez no van a poder accesarlas desde Studio Web. Pero es bastante fácil y rápido de usar porque todo lo acceso a una página web. En los otros dos tipos de estudio que tengo, está Studio X y Studio. Diferencias entre ambos es que Studio X es más dirigido a lo que llamamos citizen developers o desarrolladores ciudadanos. Y lo que busca es automatizar tareas, pequeñas partes de un proceso. Creo que ahora Emilio en el chat hacía una pregunta. Si quiero automatizar una aplicación o un trabajo diario en mi desktop, ¿puedo usar Studio X? Y la respuesta es sí. La diferencia entre Studio X y Studio es que Studio está enfocado ya en desarrolladores con más conocimiento. Studio X es para alguien que tal vez nunca ha programado, que no conoce bien los paradigmas de programación, y Studio está más enfocado para dar mayores funcionalidades a los usuarios, como por ejemplo manejar errores que suceden dentro de la automatización o poder identificar qué es lo que salió mal. Tenemos más herramientas disponibles para construir herramientas alrededor de procesos. Y esa es la palabra clave. Studio X para tareas pequeñas y estudios para automatizar procesos ya más grandes, que probablemente un proceso es una unión de varias tareas. Entonces lo pueden ver así. Dato importante, Studio X y Studio se necesitan instalar en la computadora y por ahora es solamente compatible con Windows. Studio Web lo podemos accesar desde una página web, así que lo podemos usar en cualquier tipo de sistema operativo, ya sea Linux o Mac. Pero sí, Studio X y Studio tienen esa limitante.
Thank you, Sebastian. Now we will see how to set up our environment. So you've heard about all the three primary products that you will need. So let's see how to get access to them. So I want you to go to this cloud.uipath.com. Okay. So first, please go to cloud.uipath.com. And I'm going to move this. Okay. So once you land in the cloud.uipath.com, if you're signing up for the very first time, it will give you a page like this, where you can use any of your accounts like the Google, the Microsoft, or your LinkedIn account And if you're working on a large organization, and if your company has already like bought the bought the enterprise license or so, you can use like your single sign-on, and or you could use the email as well. And in this case, I'm using my Google account. So I'm just gonna like go ahead and click that. And once you select like the specific account, it's gonna ask you, oh, yeah, sometimes it does happen. So I guess like it has to do with probably my internet. But once you sign up, the very first thing that it's gonna ask you is to give an organization name. In my case, I've already created that. So I had given my organization name as my name, so Priya Esteves. So as soon as you give that, then it just takes like a little bit of time and you might land on this landing page. So please make sure you are able to sign up and get access to this automation cloud, because this is the one stop where we are going to get access to all the UiPath products. And once you sign up using the automation cloud portal, it also gives you access to the free academy, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and every other like resources that are available within the UiPath world.
Y Priya, lo que nos comentaba es, lo primero que tenemos que hacer es crear una cuenta en UiPath. Eso es el primer paso para poder utilizarlo. Entonces, en el chat posteamos el link, que es cloud.uipath.com, y ahí lo que van a tener que hacer es crear una cuenta, ya sea con su email, con Google, con Microsoft. Pueden crear una cuenta y les va a preguntar si es la primera vez que lo hacen, si quieren crear una organización. Entonces, ustedes les van a decir que sí, y la idea es que puedan llegar a la página donde está Priya actualmente. Si llegan a ver esta imagen, es que todo salió bien. Si no lo lograran, nos ponen la pregunta en el chat y con mucho gusto les ayudamos.
Yeah, and if you're getting any errors, again, like don't feel shy, please ask any questions that you might want, and you can still use like English or Spanish, and Sebastian and Josue are great at helping you out there. So please feel free to ask your questions. Okay. And so I'll show you really quick how to get access to the studio. Once you get access to this automation cloud portal, as you can see on the right side, there is a download button. Once you hit download, it's going to download Studio to your local machine. Okay. The steps are very simple. It takes less than 2 minutes to get Studio installed and like go through the instructions, and like in less than maybe like 10 minutes, like you will have the Studio available and ready to use. Okay, and on the left side, you will have access to the Studio Web. So as soon as you come here, you see this S symbol. This is what your Studio Web will look like. So we'll take a look at both of them in just a second. Sebastian, do you want to explain?
Sí, y primero lo que nos estaba diciendo es cómo tener acceso a Studio. Entonces, tenemos dos formas de accesarlo. Uno es instalando Studio, que hablábamos que tenemos varios estudios, Studio X y Studio. Se pueden accesar descargando de la página web. Ahí Priya nos está mostrando el botón, entonces le damos download e instalamos el software que se va a descargar en las computadoras. Si quisiéramos usar Studio Web, eso lo vamos a accesar en el lado izquierdo. Priya lo está indicando en la pantalla y es como una S de Studio, y no necesitamos instalar nada para poder accesar esta versión.
Okay, now let's start with Studio Web. Okay, so once you click on this, like it's going to take you right here. So as you can see, Studio Web offers you a lot of templates. So if you want to start your first automations and see like how it works, you can like select any of these templates to build your first automation. So for instance, there is like move files from your OneDrive. And if that is a use case that you are interested in, all you have to do is say like select this template and get started with that. And the moment that you select it, it's going to ask you for the connections. Once you give the permissions, the authorization, the very first thing, your project is ready to go. So I'm going to show you how to create a project without the template. So all you can do is just go to this projects tab and just click on this new project, and it'll ask you for a project name. And you can set like how you want to start the project, whether manually or event-based or time-based. You can give any of that, and like you will have your first process. So let's take a look at like one of the demos that I have built. in order to see how Studio Web works. So as you can see, it's still loading. And once it's ready, like once your automation is ready, we're going to run this. Okay. So I'll close this tab just to be safe. And I will run this project. Okay. So on the studio on the right side, it's going to show you a live stream of what the robot does. So I'm going to click on that live stream to see what our robot is going to be doing. So the process that I have built is a very simple process. All it's going to do is go to the Yahoo Finance website and go to the crypto tab and look at the table that it has under the crypto and extract all that information that's available there. Okay, so as you can see, it's already gone to the crypto tab and it's looking at the table and it's going to extract that information in an Excel file. So as you can see, I added a log message to tell me how many records were extracted. So here it says the total record count is 25. Okay, and the file got saved in a OneDrive. So here's my file, the crypto.xlx. So as you can see, it extracted all the information that I wanted. And we saw the record count was 25, so including the header. So we have all the information that we needed. And these are the 4 columns that I selected. So when you start your first process, we can always take a look at, like, let me show you side by side. So let me show you how to add an activity. So here's our very first, let's say like we added our, oops. Okay, I can show you how to create a new project and we can go from there. So this is our very first demo 2. So I'm just going to create a new project. And the very first time that you create a project, it's very blank slate. So as soon as you figure out what are the steps that are within your process, that's what we are going to do. And like I said, Studio Web is primarily used for like web-based automations. In that case, I'm going to have to like open the tab which I want to automate. And all I'm going to do is like click on this plus activity and look for what activities that I need. So as you can see, once you click on that activities tab, it gives you access to all of these different packages that are available with the activities. So the first thing that I'm going to use is the UI automation. So I'm going to use the use browser in order to select the tab that I want to interact with. So any site that I want to interact with, I will first use the use browser. Okay. And then like it gives you in the drop down, it shows me all the open tabs on my browser. So I'm going to select this one. And then it gets accessed. And one thing to note is that if you're using Studio Web for the very first time, it will ask you to install an extension. Okay. So the very first time when I installed it, it made me install this UiPath extension. So in less than a minute, you will have a Studio Web extension that allows you to interact with your browser. Okay. So using that extension, it's now able to identify. So if I had like a login credentials, then I would enable this requires authentication and I would specify what I want to do. Next thing, if I want to like interact with that application using clicks. So once you add a click, it's going to ask you indicate the target on screen. So all we are going to do is like click on this indicate target and it's going to take you to that web page. And as you can see, I wonder if you can see this green box. So as I move my mouse, it's actually showing this green box highlighted. So these are like elements, the selectors that are identified that I can click on. So since I wanted to click on the crypto, this is what I selected. Okay. And the moment that you do that, it's going to ask you like, do you have this correct? Like, do you want to set an anchor? I can specify an anchor right next to it and then say like confirm. And immediately now I have a click that has been automated. So all it's going to do is like open up this browser and go to the crypto page. So in this way, like you can easily automate like any number of steps that you want to add. And Sebastian, do you want to start?
Yes.
With this?
Básicamente lo que Priya nos demostró es cómo crear una automatización usando Studio Web para poder extraer información de los precios de las criptomonedas. como pudieran ver, es ir agregando secuencialmente actividades y si lo van a hacer por primera vez, van a tener que instalar una extensión. Entonces, cuando lo utilicen por primera vez, probablemente Chrome les va a mandar una notificación y es esta extensión que Priya está mostrando en la pantalla. Pero básicamente es eso, ¿verdad? Identificar cuál es la actividad que necesitan, ir poniendo una debajo de la otra y seleccionando los elementos con los que queremos ir interactuando en la pantalla.
Okay, perfect. Now, if we want to add like any sort of interaction with the OneDrive or the Gmail, all we need to do is like install the connections. So in my example right here, I have added, yeah, go ahead. Someone had a question? Okay. All right. So yeah, any point in time, if you have a question, please feel free to hop in. So the next thing that I used is the OneDrive. So where is that? Yep, right here. So when I wanted to write to my OneDrive, I use the write range. So let's say if I want to write to my OneDrive, I would just select the write range, and immediately it would select like what type of connection that you want to add. So for any of these OneDrives, I would have, come on. Sometimes the activity collapses and you can always like expand it. Okay. And if I look at the connections, I'm just going to add the manage connections. For the very first time, if I'm using, I've already given access to my OneDrive here. So if you want to add a new connection, you can always like, it's going to pop up like the first time that you use that activity. This might be the screen that you will land up in. So you just need to hit connect and provide your authentication details, and immediately you will have access using your OneDrive. So then your connection gets created and it gets access to all the folders and the files that you want to use. And then you can specify which file you want to write to, and also which sheet, and you can specify what's the type of data that you want to write into it. And these connections now gives you access to any number of activities, not just OneDrive. Like you have like various connectors that you could use. So you could use any of these, the Amazon SageMaker, Dropbox, Box, or like Coupa, or if you have Salesforce or SAP or anything Google related, the Google Drives, all of these are available. And if you're using any kind of ticketing systems like Jira or ServiceNow, or even like Azure for that matter, all of these are available. So you can interact with these activities that are available within your Studio Web as well. So this product that we use is called the integration services, that offers you connections to like hundreds of products that are available. And they keep adding like more new products that are being used across the enterprise. So if you feel like any of these products that are useful in your process, you can always use them.
Sí, y Priya nos enseñó cómo conectarnos a los servicios de Excel. Bueno, el caso que Priya quería es extrajimos la información de Yahoo Finance, de criptomonedas, y después utilizamos la actividad que llama Write Range, donde copiamos o pegamos la información que hemos extraído. Como muchos de ustedes están usando eso por primera vez, tienen que establecer primero la conexión con Microsoft Excel. Entonces, Priya nos mostró algunos pasos donde tenemos que darle nuestras credenciales para poder identificar cuál es la cuenta que queremos accesar y poder posteriormente pegarlo a OneDrive y pegar la información en una hoja de Excel que podamos encontrar por ahí. Hay varios conectores. Microsoft Excel es uno, pero también está Google Sheets, PowerPoint, Word. Entonces van a ver que ya lo está mostrando ahorita, hay un montón de conectores, inclusive hay algunos para ChatGPT que pueden integrar dentro de sus automatizaciones.
Awesome. So any questions with the demonstration so far with the Studio Web?
¿Tienen alguna pregunta de lo que hemos visto hasta ahora con el Studio Web?
think we have a really nice crowd that loves using this. Sorry. Okay. Now we will move on to like how to use the
Priya, sorry, we do have one question that came in. They're just asking if it requires any sort of payment for this. So for anyone that's wondering about that, no. The community site that Priya has linked to you and we've put in the chat, there's no cost for this. You guys can sign up for free. Same thing with the academy and everything. There's no cost for it. So you'll be able to take part in this hackathon, build it into your automations for no cost whatsoever. Now, of course, if you end up wanting to use this like at your organization or whatnot, there's a whole sales thing for that. We're not going to go into that piece, but for the purpose of this hackathon, no, there's no cost to you for this.
Y lo que nos acaba de decir es sobre una pregunta que tenía en el chat, sobre ¿tiene algún tipo de costo accesar estas herramientas? Y no, la respuesta es no. UiPath ofrece el servicio community de forma gratuita. Claramente, si ya vas a utilizar esto en un ambiente corporativo, en una empresa, hay que pagar licencias, pero para aprender y para los propósitos de esta hackathon, no. Todo lo que estamos viendo es completamente gratis.
Perfect. That's a really good question. Yeah, I would be skeptical too, because like all of this knowledge is for free. But yeah, believe me, like we've grown over the years, our knowledge using this community platform. So please feel free to explore. Again, like you are here setting your own limits. So whatever automation that you want to build using any of these products, it's for free. Okay, so let's take a look at the studio itself. So once you install, oops, my machine is kind of slow today. Just give it a second for it to load. Okay. So my machine's just waking up, I guess. I'm sorry for that, but I'm pretty sure like your studio is not this slow, because my whole Windows is like kind of really slow today. But when you go to the studio and install it, if you follow through the installation steps, it will land you in a page where you can look at the profile. So it's going to ask you like, which profile do you want to choose? You can either choose Studio or Studio X. So you might land in this page that is going to ask. So I'm today for this demo, I'm going to show you a demo using the Studio. Okay. And again, remember, Studio offers you to build like complex automations, like you can use it for like building your attended, unattended, or any of the tasks that you wish. But Studio X is primarily for like task specific, and it is like for business users that have like limited knowledge. So in this case, I'm going to show you the best of the best here, and let's go to the Studio. And again, like Studio offers you like multiple things where you can, like if you're working on a team where you want to use a code repository and store your code, you can always use Git, TFS, or any of the code repositories that are required. Okay. So let's run this. And before we hop on, the very first step that in your installation, as soon as you finish it, it will connect you to the assistant. As soon as you download Studio, it also comes with a robot being installed on that machine. So the robot is called the UiPath Assistant. So I'm going to try to go to my desktop. So as soon as Studio gets installed, it creates the desktop shortcut. So the S stands for the Studio, and this purple icon is the UiPath Assistant. So if you ever want to take a look at your robot, you will just go to the UiPath Assistant. And one way to make sure that you're connected and you're all set to go is looking at this green light. If you don't see that, you might see a button that says sign in. All you need to do is use the same credentials that you used to sign into that automation cloud, and that will take you here. Okay. And we are going to look at a very simple demo here. Let me see if I can run it. I think it's already open. Okay, let's run this one. So I have a very simple demo for today using the studio where it is going to go to a booking website like TripAdvisor and look up a hotel information and find the reviews of that hotel and extract that reviews for me in an Excel file. Okay, and since my machine is quite slow today, I guess like the studio is taking its own time to like start up and spin the process. But on a regular basis, it would be way faster than this. I guess my virtual machine for today, it's like really slow. And you can run this using any number of processes. So as you can see, I have modularized my process and I have created multiple workflows for this specific scenario that I have explained. So all it's going to do is like open up the website, type in the hotel name, go to that page, and then click on the reviews. Okay. And within the studio, as you can see on the right side, it gives you the project, left side. Left side, you can see the project and also the activities tab. And Studio offers over like 300 plus activities, and you can still add more activities using the manage package. And the central area is going to be called the designer panel, which is where like we are going to be building our automation, which is where like you will do most of the designing like visually using a flow chart or like any state machines that you will be doing. And then on the far right side, it's still running. On the far right side was the properties panel. I'll just show you in a second as soon as this finishes running. And believe me, it's not this slow. It's just that like have to do with my machine here. So you can see that green icon that comes up. So that means that the studio is actually running over here. So that's going to show you like what the robot is doing. So as you can see, it's trying to pull up the website, the TripAdvisor, and trying to go to the screen. And yeah, I guess my machine went into a weekend mode that it just decided to slow down. Sorry about that, guys. But any questions so far? Anybody, any thoughts?
Sí, ¿tiene alguna duda o pregunta?
Yeah, and Sebastian, you can probably translate what the process is about to do, maybe in the meanwhile.
Sí, y ahorita lo que el proceso va a hacer es, vamos a ingresar a TripAdvisor y vamos a descargar información de una locación que Pri va a escoger. No sé si tienen alguna duda o pregunta antes de continuar. Ok, aquí vemos que la automatización está buscando el Sheraton Seattle y todo lo que están viendo es la automatización corriendo. ¿Cómo sabemos que es la automatización? No sé si logran ver ese icono verde en la barra de tareas de PRIA, que es como un símbolo de play, y eso significa que está corriendo. Generalmente eso es bastante rápido, pero probablemente, no sé, PRIA debe tener algo ahí corriendo en su computadora, algún proceso en el background, o también Zoom a veces consume muchos recursos y hace que se vuelva un poco lento, pero bueno, aquí va ejecutándose. Usualmente esto es bastante rápido.
Yeah. And sometimes when I forget to restart my machine, this happens. It's like just slow.
Yeah. And I don't think it's just your machine. Wi-Fi, like TripAdvisor is taking some time to load as well.
Yeah, it also has to do with my Wi-Fi. I did see like the vendors working near my house, so it also they probably reduce the speed. But normally it's really faster, and you can see that like it types way faster and navigates way faster. But today, I think it's really going in a slow motion, probably to show you the steps, step by step, on what it's doing, which is a good thing.
Sí, por ahí en el chat pusieron algo de Selenium. Y sí, Selenium es otra tecnología o un software que permite automatizar y lo utiliza mucho para lo que es calidad, para quality assurance. UiPath hace que Selenium sea bastante complejo porque sí es bastante sencillo utilizar UiPath para crear las actividades y las automatizaciones, pero sí tienen ciertas similitudes, pero UiPath se ha convertido en una plataforma, como vimos, no solamente identificar, automatizar, sino también la orquestación, eh, poder incluir actividades cognitivas como lo es ChatGPT o Google Vertex. Entonces es más una plataforma que ofrece un montón de servicios conexos en relación con el tema de la automatización.
Yeah, I think like today the TripAdvisor website is also not cooperating. I'm sorry about that, but I'll walk you through the process on like how it was built on the studio so that like we can take a look at some of the activities and like how this was done. Okay, I'm just trying to maximize this.
Ria, just a simple question.
Yeah.
Is this version of this product that we downloaded the full studio version of this Studio X?
So you have like access to both of them. So you will have the full studio version, and I will show you in just a second like how to even switch that. Okay. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna close this and probably okay. So when you download it, remember it asked you for that profile. So that's where like you can easily switch that. So you have access to the Studio and Studio X. And it has exactly all the features that you will also get with the enterprise and the community. So it's pretty much the same. Okay, stop running. I don't know. Since it failed, it automatically like tried to start off. Sorry, I'm fighting with the robot like for control right now. This is not how it usually goes. But let's see. Okay. Okay. Let's give it just a second. Okay. And then I'm gonna go to home. In your home, like if you go to settings and go to license and profile and change profile, I can always switch between Studio and Studio X. So if I choose Studio X, it's gonna restart and open up Studio X processes. Okay. And if you are in Studio X, the same thing. You go to settings, license and profile, and you change the profile to Studio. Okay. And in the design, you can always choose like the light or the dark mode. Usually it comes in the light mode. So you can always like choose like which one that you want and in the general, sorry. And whenever we want to start a new process, the very first time, you might land on this screen where you will see like all the different projects that are available and you can choose from a template as well. So you can choose for this specific process, all I did was created a simple process, okay? And then you give a meaningful name to it and where you want to store it, all right? And yesterday, somebody had a question on state machines and like, how do I build a complex framework? So that's where we would go for robotic enterprise framework. But for the scope of this hackathon, you can build like a simple process or a framework depending on like how you want to go. And if you have like multiple processes, multiple workflows, I would say like just go for like a simple process and you can add like all these workflows using the new button. You can either create a sequence, a flow chart, or workflow like a state machine or any of this. Okay. Did that answer your question, Emilio?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Sure. And yeah, any other questions, please feel free to hop in. Okay. So what I did for this process was like, I again used the use browser activity. As you know, like that's an activity that we saw in the studio web. So when I go to let me show you the panels first. So as you can see, this is the activities panel where you can search for n number of activities. So if you want to extract from a data table, like all I would do is like use the search to be able to look up for activity, and it's gonna pull up all the activities that are associated to that. Okay, or you can find the specific activity. And if you're not finding the activity that I'm looking for, you can just go to the manage packages and look for that library that you want to download. Okay, so all you have to do is search for the package that you need, and there's the official package, which is like the official location where UiPath deploys their packages, which means like it's built by UiPath itself. And you can also connect to the marketplace, which is done by like community folks like us, like external partners or external customers that love to share their reusable components. You can look it from the marketplace. But I would still say like start off with the official, and then based on your needs, you can extend your capabilities. Okay. And then like if you want to build your automations, the very first time you would start off with this main sequence, which is going to be your starting point of your automation. Okay, in this case, all it did was like use the browser, and then it typed into the, okay, and then it went and typed into that text box where it typed the Sheraton Seattle, and then it moved on to the next one. And then it did the extract reviews. So I'm going to show you how to use the web recorder. So for all the things that we just saw, I'll show it to you in a test page. Okay, so I'm going to show you a quick. And one thing that I would advise is like whenever you create a new sequence, just give it a meaningful name so that it looks more visually appealing, because even for a non-technical person, when they look at your workflow, it tells you the story of what the action that is happening. So in this case, this workflow, all it does is extracting the reviews. And in this workflow, it does the analysis. Okay, so whatever the extracted data that came through, this one analyzes that extracted data. Okay, so I'm just quickly going to walk you through the web demo, and I don't have this open. Yeah, I'm so sorry that everything's like too slow right now. But yeah, Sebastian, do you just want to translate whatever that we just talked right now? In the meantime, I'll just restart my machine, okay?
Sure. Sí, y algo de los que nos comentaba Priya es que podemos tener varios tipos de paquetes. Dependiendo de lo que queramos hacer, tenemos que conectarnos con diferentes sistemas. Por ejemplo, si tenemos que conectarnos con bases de datos, hay un paquete especial para poder utilizar bases de datos. Entonces, podemos tener estos paquetes, pueden ser creados por UiPath, los cuales son los paquetes oficiales, o también puede ser que otros miembros de la comunidad colaboren en la creación de estos paquetes. Eso dependerá de lo que ustedes necesiten en su caso de uso. Ahorita Priya está reiniciando la computadora porque al parecer está un poco lenta, pero no sé si aprovechamos esto más bien por si tienen alguna duda o consulta sobre lo que hemos visto hasta ahora.
Tal vez
Por
como,
ahí vi... Dale, Emilio.
perdón, solamente con respecto a las licencias, así, para utilizar estudio, se requiere esta cuenta especial que estamos utilizando, o por ejemplo, es como una cuenta gratuita que la podemos usar, así como vimos en la guía, que nada más es de crearla y ya básicamente se puede utilizar estudio.
Correcto. Solamente con crear esa cuenta vas a tener acceso a estudio. Es completamente gratis. Si vas a usar esto ya en un ambiente, digamos, comercial para productos o dentro de una empresa, hay un tema de licenciamiento que sin duda si estás interesado en eso, tal vez Diana nos puede ayudar a ponerte en contacto con alguien de ventas, pero eh, para objetivos didácticos de aprendizaje, y para explorar y hacer pruebas de concepto, UiPath Community es más que suficiente. Básicamente no hay ninguna diferencia con el estudio eh, pago y el community. Son las herramientas son iguales, son idénticas. ¿Qué vas a tener si pagas? Tal vez necesitas 5 robots que corren automatización. Ese tipo de funcionalidades, si vas a tener que contactarte con alguien de ventas porque la versión community solamente te va a dar un robot disponible para poder correr tus automatizaciones. No sé si con eso te contesto la pregunta.
Claro, y de hecho también contestó otras que tenía. Muchas gracias.
Buenísimo. ¿Alguien más con alguna otra pregunta?
Hola, sí. Bueno, buenos días, primeramente. Un saludo. Sí, mi nombre es Kevin. Yo quería hacer una consulta. Bueno, con respecto a lo de la inteligencia artificial, que sabemos que es lo que hay, para nadie es un secreto, que es lo que viene, ¿verdad? Eh, ¿cómo proyecta UiPath integrarse con esa tecnología?
Sí, de hecho, tenemos un PRIA, PRIA, we're gonna cover AI Center in a bit,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
Okay,
in
great.
just a second.
Yeah. Kevin, sí, y vamos a ver, ahorita PRIA tiene un demo de una función o un producto que se llama AI Center, donde podemos integrar modelos que ya UiPath creó dentro de nuestras automatizaciones o inclusive también nos da la flexibilidad de traer modelos desarrollados por nosotros y poder inyectarlos dentro de robots. Entonces, UiPath ha pensado mucho en cómo integrar todos estos modelos de Machine Learning dentro de su robot y también podemos utilizar conectores de ChatGPT o Google Vertex dentro de las automatizaciones para poder, por ejemplo, descargar información de una página web, como lo hacía Priya, y preguntarle sobre esa página web, preguntarle cuál es el precio del Bitcoin o cuándo ha sido el precio más alto en el que está o el más bajo y poder fusionar capacidades de inteligencia artificial generativa y los robots. Y es sumamente fácil. De hecho, yo hice un demo hace un poco con ChatGPT específicamente y no duré más de 15 minutos en ponerlo a funcionar utilizando Studio Web y Integration Services, que es el producto que nos permite hacer las conexiones con plataformas que están fuera de UiPath. No sé si con esto te respondo la pregunta, Kevin. Igual
No, de
vamos a ver un
hecho,
demo. Vamos a ver un
sí,
demo en unos minutos.
de hecho, sí, no, súper bien contestada, en realidad, muchísimas gracias. Aprovechando que la pregunta, bueno, la respuesta fue súper buena, si quería consultarte, digamos, en el área de la ciberseguridad, propiamente, si yo quisiera, digamos, por general nosotros trabajamos mucho en lo que son eh, ambientes virtuales, ¿verdad? Entonces, digamos que si yo quiero arrancar, yo tengo una Mac, pero si yo quiero arrancar un VMware de Windows que luego corra Kali Linux, por ejemplo, al yo activar el de Windows, yo puedo activar el robot para que él, digamos, accese la herramienta de virtual, por ejemplo, usa una herramienta como la Jack the Ripper, ¿verdad? Para poder ejecutar algún tipo de, de comando.
Sí, tal vez. Vamos a ver, hay unas limitantes con Studio. Studio solamente puede ser utilizado. Studio Web no, estoy hablando de Studio X. Puede ser utilizado en un ambiente de Windows solamente. Sin embargo, las automatizaciones que creamos podemos correrlas en ambientes de Linux y de Mac. Entonces, por ahí es un tema que hay que tener en cuenta. Eh, lo que sí, digamos, si querés utilizar los robots para ejecutarlos a cierta hora o para que vayan a ejecutar 1, 2, 3 robots al mismo tiempo, un mismo flujo, ahí lo que recomendamos es que utilices el orquestador, que es la herramienta que hay UiPath para poder orquestar los robots. No sé si con eso te respondo o no, no necesariamente.
Mi pregunta iba más en el lado digamos que tengo una Mac, pero estoy corriendo una instancia de Windows, ¿verdad? Por ejemplo,
Ujú.
en un VMware.
Ya.
Y a
Sí.
partir de ahí, yo le instruyo al robot que ¿verdad? Dentro de Windows,
Ujú.
ya teniendo creo que es el estudio, ¿verdad? le instruiría al robot a que me active otra instancia de VM, pero ya como una herramienta Kali Linux. Mi pregunta básicamente es, en ese tipo de ambiente, ¿puede el robot operar y ejecutar instrucciones sobre una instancia virtual? No sé si
Sí,
me-
sí, y la respuesta es sí. De hecho, si vos ves, Priya en este momento está usando una computadora Mac, pero ella virtualizó un ambiente de Windows y así es como lo estaba utilizando. Entonces, esta imagen que estás viendo es Windows y si, Priya, can you minimize that
Yeah.
window? Y si ves ahorita abajo, todo el dashboard es de Mac. Entonces, ella está en una Mac virtualizando un Windows y utilizando Studio de esa forma.
Ah, ok, perfecto. Pero en esa instancia de Windows, si ella le instruyera al robot que accesara un ambiente virtual y operara
Ujú.
dentro de ese ambiente virtual, no habría un problema, ¿verdad?
Creo que no, tenemos que dar prueba, pero es como una inception ahí, ¿verdad? Como ambiente entre ambiente entre ambiente. Creo que sí
Sí.
debería poderlo, pero siempre y cuando lo instancies dentro del ambiente de Windows. Si lo instancias fuera de ese ambiente, creo que ahí no vas a poder accesar.
Ah, ok, perfecto. No, muchísimas gracias. Sé que la pregunta es un poco enredada, pero muchísimas gracias por tomarte el tiempo de contestarla y gracias.
Claro, con gusto. Y creo que tenemos otra pregunta de Yadit.
Hola, buenos días. Sí, yo quería hacer una consulta. Vamos a ver, nosotros solamente vamos a ver como esa parte del estudio X o también se van a enfocar en la parte como de developers y todo eso. O,
De developers, básicamente
Ujú.
esta es la estudio, es como la plataforma o el diseñador de las automatizaciones. Como puedes ver, es mucho enfocado como a drag and drop, ¿verdad? Como
Ujú.
activaciones predefinidas y las vamos dando forma dependiendo del caso que queramos. Sin embargo, eso no impide que podamos inyectar código de Python o código de .NET, C Sharp dentro de la automatización. Entonces, creo que Priya por ahí ya está buscando algún tipo de actividad. Eh, Priya, can you search for uh, invoke code activity? Sí, por ejemplo, ahí podemos invocar también métodos de PowerShell, de VScript, de Visual Basic y podemos también instalar paquetes que nos permitan con otros lenguajes. Entonces, si tuvieras algún pedazo de código que ya vos has desarrollado y necesitas entrenar un robot, eso lo podemos hacer por medio de otras actividades y no habría ningún problema con incluirlo.
Ok, sí. Sí, porque había leído que digamos que esa aplicación es similar a Visual. Entonces,
Ujú.
quería saber básicamente.
Sí, sí, y UiPath cae entre la categoría de low code, donde te da un montón de actividades que no tenés que programarlas desde cero, pero te da la flexibilidad de integrarla con código que vos hayas desarrollado en Visual Basic sin ningún problema.
Yes, and you added like if you like to code more, I think like UiPath has the coded automation as well. That's a newer feature that's coming up in the 2013, like towards the October. So probably if you love coding, you will love the coded automation feature that's coming out.
Yes, thank you.
Sure. Any other questions? Cool. Okay. So as we saw, like the idea was that like it extracts the reviews and the extracted reviews are being placed in this Excel file. So this was the robot that actually extracted the title, the description, and the reviewed by. What I did was on top of just the extraction, I added an analysis step. So this is where the AI comes in, okay? So all we need to do is to build an AI on top of this extracted analysis. So we have the data and now I need to analyze it. In order to do that, before I start off with the studio, what I would do is I would first need that AI skill from the automation cloud. So I would go back to this automation cloud. And if I look here in the three dots, I will see this AI center. And if you don't see that, and in the community version, you might be the admin. So look for the admin. And this is your organization and your tenant. And for some folks that are having like license issues, just make sure that you go to this tenant part and check your licenses, like if you have the allocation of the robots or like if you have the user licenses there. And in our case, what we are going to do is like, we are going to go to the tenant and go to services. Okay. And just make sure that this AI center is enabled or not. In my case, it's already enabled. So now I have the option to either disable or remove. Okay. So now you will have access to the AI center. Sebastian, do you just want to explain this part?
Sure. Y lo que Priano estaba comentando es, out of the box, cuando crean su cuenta, no todos los servicios están habilitados. Entonces, para habilitarlos, por ejemplo, hoy vamos a ver un producto que se llama AI Center. Entonces, lo que vamos a hacer es ir al panel de admin, donde está Priya en este momento. Vamos a darle clic aquí en admin y posteriormente vamos aquí a ir al tenant de Priya. En este caso, ustedes probablemente tengan un nombre diferente, pero va a ser el mismo. Bueno, va a ser el primero que aparece en la lista y posteriormente vamos a ir a Services. Una vez que vamos a Services, estos son todos los productos que hay, pero no todos están necesariamente activos. Si queremos activar AI Center, simplemente darle en esos 3 puntos y les va a salir la opción de Enable. En el caso de Priya, ya ella lo habilitó anteriormente, entonces no aparece, pero en el caso de ustedes, si es la primera vez, van a tener la opción de habilitarlo. Una vez que lo habilitan, esto va a estar disponible en el menú de servicios, que es el lado izquierdo, y como pueden ver, ahora sí aparece AI Center. Si no les aparece, tienen que hacer estos pasos para poder habilitarlo.
Okay. And once we come to the AI center, we want to create a project for the activity that we want to do. So for my process, I created a project and I called it test PD. Okay. And the first landing page is going to show you a dashboard of all the packages that you might have used for that project. Okay. So for the scope of this, we are going to see just like a simple out of the box package that is available. Okay. And UiPath offers like you to bring your own package. So let's say you built your own like Python machine learning package and you want to bring it within this AI center and use it on your studio, you can still do that. So for you to consume any machine learning package, you should bring it to the AI center, add it here. Once it is added as a skill, then you can go back to the studio to be able to use that. So the first step is always remember, bring your package to the AI center. Okay. And if I don't have like a machine learning package, I just want to use what is offered within UiPath. I'm going to go to the out of the box packages. And as you can see, there are multiple different packages that are available. Okay. So UiPath has the document understanding, the computer vision. So once you go inside, it has like all the different types of documents that you can use, like for passports, invoices, receipts, W-2, and all these different kinds of documents that you can use. And in our case, I'm going to analyze the reviews. Remember, so it's language related. So I'm going to go to the language analysis and I'm going to create the sentiment analysis. Okay, once you click on that, it gives you the option to be able to like read what that package does. Like what is that model doing? So this one is the sentiment analysis. So this gives you a description of like it reads through the reviews and says like whether it's positive or negative or neutral. And you can read further on like what's the input and the output. And this package specifically is not a trainable model. It's not like a retrainable model. So it's already been trained and stabilized. So we are going to use that. Once you hit submit, it's going to ask you to give a name for your package, like what do you want to call it within your project. So this will be the package name. Since I've already created, I'm not going to click OK there. But as you can see, like you can use any of these multiple different like out of the box packages that comes within UiPath. And once it gets created, the next step that I will do is I will go to the ML skill. I've created the machine learning package. Now I want to use it as a skill. So I will just go hit create new and I will give a name for my skill and I will select the package that I just created. And then I will choose the versions and I will hit create. Once I hit create, it will tell me like now my ML skill is available. It will just take a few minutes to get it deployed. So as soon as like it will tell you that it's processing or being deployed. And once it's available, then you can go to the studio to be able to use it. Right?
Sí, Priya, los pasos que acaba de hacer es como crear o consumir o preparar un modelo de Machine Learning para ser utilizado en el robot. tenemos varias opciones. Uno es utilizar los paquetes o los modelos que ya UiPath ha desarrollado, como por ejemplo este fue uno de los que escogió Priya, y escogió el de Sentiment Analysis. Entonces, este paquete en particular nos va a permitir predecir cuál es el tipo de percepción que tiene con base en un texto, si la percepción es negativa, si es positiva. Entonces, para este ejemplo vamos a usar este paquete, es totalmente construido por UiPath, no tenemos que hacer nada. También, si tuviéramos un modelo externo que quisiéramos importar, podemos utilizar la otra función y es import ML model. Aquí lo vamos a traer y lo vamos a subir. Y posteriormente el paso que nos va a enseñar Priya a continuación es cómo ya con el modelo aquí listo, vamos a poder consumirlo y utilizarlo dentro de la automatización como un machine learning skill.
Sweet. So once I have created that skill, what I will do is now I want to analyze, I want to consume that skill. So to be able to use that skill, I need a specific package. So I've already installed that package. So I will show you in your activities, you may not currently have that if you haven't installed it. So what we will do is we will just go to the official under the manage packages, just go to the official and just type like ML, and you will end up seeing like all the different packages that are offered by UiPath. And I'm going to select this one for today, the machine learning services package. And you might have an install option and then you hit save. Once you have that, then it gives you all these different skills that are available. So the one that I used is this one, the ML skill. Okay. So I've added, what I did here was I added that skill. And if I'm doing this for the first time, like what will happen is that it will connect to the robot and it will tell me like whether I want to do the robot or the endpoint. In this case, I want to use the robot. And once you hit this drop down, it will show me the ML skill that we created. In my case, like here, my skill name is called the sentiment analysis. So if I go back to Studio, that is the one that is available. Then I can test the skill to see like whether it is a good one or not. Great, stay in good quality. So I can now like test if my skill is truly working. Okay. In this case, it will tell me like whatever the input that I have given, what is the sentiment around that? In this case, it's positive and how confident that is. So this is my output that's coming. Now I want to extract this output and I want to put it back in my Excel file. Okay. So that is the process here. What we are doing is I'm just going to remove this since I already have it configured down here. Okay. So all I did was I read that Excel file that we saw. It had all the reviews and I'm just adding those two output columns into my data table so that I want to store the data there. I add the sentiment and the confidence, and then I use the looping concept, the for each row in a data table, so that I want to read each row and read those reviews. Okay. So, and those reviews, the description of those reviews is being passed as my input. And the output that comes for this model is a JSON response. So I basically get that JSON response, deserialize it, and then like from the JSON object, I capture the sentiment and the confidence, and I write it back to the data table. Once I've written it back to the data table, now I have to write it to the Excel. So I use again a write range and I write it on my sheet 2. Okay. So this model has worked. And now if I go to sheet 2, once I have run it, then it will give me this value. Okay, so it read through each of these reviews and it came up with a sentiment. All yours, Sebastian.
Thank you, Priya. Y lo que nos acaba de mostrar Priya es cómo podemos consumir ese modelo que hayamos provisionado en el cloud, en la página web, que era sobre sentiment analysis, análisis de sentimiento. Entonces, una vez que creamos el ML skill aquí, o el Machine Learning skill, vamos de nuevo a Studio, y en Studio lo que podemos hacer es extraer la información que queremos aplicar el modelo. Entonces, Priya lo que tiene aquí en pantalla es un Excel con una serie de comentarios que han hecho varios usuarios sobre su experiencia en un hotel, si no me equivoco, y lo que hizo es esta misma información. Entonces, una vez que ya Priya tiene ¿cómo se llama? El texto de cada uno de los reviews de los clientes, va a ir a estudio y en estudio lo que va a hacer es utilizar una serie de actividades para iterar por cada una de las líneas que vimos en ese Excel y aplicar el modelo que veíamos en pantalla. El modelo lo que está haciendo entonces es analizando el texto y definiendo si la experiencia fue positiva o si fue negativa y nos va a arrojar un porcentaje de fiabilidad sobre ese texto y sobre el análisis que hizo. Entonces, una vez que nos da la respuesta, esto viene en un JSON, serializamos ese JSON y Priya al final lo que hizo fue volver a escribir el resultado sobre la hoja de Excel que teníamos inicialmente. Entonces abrimos esa hoja de Excel, vamos a tener el resultado y en la columna D y E podemos ver que el sentimiento para cada una de esos reviews o reseñas lo vamos a tener en la columna D, siendo algunas si fueron muy positivas, otras negativas o muy negativas. Y en la columna D nos dice el modelo qué nivel de confianza o certeza percibe él a la hora de hacer ese análisis. No sé si hasta acá tienen algún tipo de pregunta o comentario.
Solo una duda, con respecto al AI Center que estaban presentando Priya, no capté cómo acceder a esa parte.
Sí, bueno, lo que tienes que hacer es, si creaste tu cuenta de UiPath y llegas a la página principal, Priya, pues, Priya, can you go to the home screen? There you go. Thank you. Una vez que estás acá, tenés que ir al panel de admin.
Oh, the adding part? Okay.
Ajá, exactly. Then te vas al tenant que hayas creado. Probablemente va a tener otro nombre que vos definiste. Y te vas a ir a servicios. En servicios vas a ver todos los servicios, algunos están activos, otros no, pero el que nos interesa ahorita es el de AI Center. Entonces le vas a dar clic en esos 3 puntos y vas a buscar la opción que diga Enable. Y una vez que haces eso, esto te va a habilitar UiPath en el menú principal, perdón, AI Center en el menú principal, y que puedes encontrar del lado izquierdo en el menú exactamente. Entonces, en este menú debería aparecer AI Center.
Perdón,
Si
de
no,
hecho no me sale esa
ujú,
opción de AI Center.
ya
Aquí no.
activaste, ya activaste aquí en Services AI Center.
Estoy en Services, pero me salen como 5 opciones. Me sale Orchestra, Actions, Integration Services, Document Understanding y Process Launcher solamente.
No te aparece AI Center.
No.
Is there a plus button? Is there like a add services or a plus button?
Yes, it is.
Okay, can you click on that plus maybe?
Yes. Uh,
Do
I
you?
did it. It says need more services, upgrade. I don't know if that's maybe.
Should be free. Do you want to share your screen really quick so that we can show it to them?
Sure.
Okay,
Oh,
thank you.
says you cannot start screen share while the other person. Okay, let me just try again. Thank you. Mm,
Okay, so I see like all of this. Okay. Yeah, usually AI Center should be.
So it's because, yeah. So the way that the sign up worked on this one, this is why I had a different link originally, is so this gave the base community. Can you just click on upgrade? What it requires is oh, this is actually putting you up to the full one. Because it wants to actually do the whole thing. So there's a different sign up link that gives you everything.
Like if we click on the enterprise trial, maybe like it gives you access to the 60 days. Yeah, let's not pay right now. Let's go
No,
back.
no.
okay.
Yeah, go back. Because you should be able to get the enterprise trial here. Hit cancel.
Let's go.
Can you go back to click on your that link right there, the top Senate code? Yep.
This one.
Yep.
Licenses.
Licenses. And then enterprise activation.
Can we do that?
That's-
Maybe pro trial. Let's do the pro trial. So close.
Oh, sorry, pro trial. Sorry, I didn't even see it in the small link. There we go. So yeah, so just put in a job title here. Doesn't really matter what you put. And then start pro trial.
Okay, I need to add that business.
You can't do it with Gmail. Do you have a either a work email or a student email? You don't have to do it like live if you don't want to, so everyone doesn't see it. But yeah, as long as it's not Gmail, you should be able to, or like a Yahoo or anything like that, you should be able to.
Okay, let me try. Work for a city.
There we go. Now, if you go back to the services, yep. And you should have them. There you go.
Okay.
So yeah,
got
that was one thing to, and I remember I was going to note it yesterday too, is when you guys sign up, if you do a Gmail with the community plan, it's just because, of course, UiPath's wanting to keep bots and everything from just creating tons and tons of instances. Sign up with your either a work email or your student email. Use those instead, get the enterprise trial, and then you'll have access to all the advanced products and capabilities as well.
it. Thank you so much.
Priya, real quick, Jose is going to take over the translation moving forward.
Okay. Perfect. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so
Thank you, Sebastian. Okay. So any other questions around the demo or the whole UiPath suite so far? I'm just gonna go back to share my screen. Okay, no questions. Okay, so here are a few resources. So we saw the demo, we saw how the AI Center works. But if you want to learn more, here are a couple of resources that will really help you like get started. So I would say the very first thing is like once you signed up to your automation cloud portal, all you need to do is just go to this academy.uipath.com. Since you've signed up using your account, you should have access to the academy now. It's a free academy that's like a whole university that gives you like access to all the courses that UiPath offers. And again, like you don't have to pay. This is for free, which gives you like a different sets of like learning plans. You can learn to become a developer, a solution architect, or a citizen developer, and all the different products are available. So all you have to choose is like what course that you want to read, and then like use the academy to your benefit. And the academy offers you like all the practical exercises. Take advantage of that and use those practice sessions to be able to like hone your skills within the UiPath world. And the second part is the forums. Okay, all of us, when we learn a new technology or a software, we all have questions. Use the forums to post your questions, and no question is a silly question. I've used the forums like even till today, like to ask any questions or any doubts that I might have. So forum is more like a knowledge base where you can search, like, because you might not be the only one that has this problem. So there might have been like someone that faced this problem and they may have posted the solution. And if you don't find the solution, if you have a very unique problem, you can still post it. And forum offers the ability to ask your question in your own language, be it like, Spanish, Japanese, or Chinese. Whatever language that you want to ask, you can ask your questions, add your screenshots if available. If you can even add your workflows, and that'll help them like across the globe. The forum community members are like all over the world. So like someone across the world might help you answer, give you a solution to your question. So please feel free to use the forum. And the third one is the marketplace. So the marketplace is an area that gives you like a startup packages or like reusable components that are already built out for like specific systems or like that you can use as solution accelerators. So marketplace is a great place to find all the products that have already been built and that are being like shareable and available for your use. And the fourth but not the least is the community. So, which is why I believe you're here. So using this community.uipath.com, you can actually see all the upcoming future events, be it virtual or your local chapter. Josue and Sebastian are doing a great job in like Costa Rica, running all these like local chapters. So if you want to be a part of like future UiPath events, you can just sign up and look for events that are interesting across the globe, or like even the Americas does a lot of virtual events, and you can join them. And let's say you're busy at school or like using your office, then you cannot attend, at least register so that you can go back and watch the recording. Josue.
Hola, hola a todos. Bueno, yo vas a ayudarles un poquito aquí con la traducción por si a alguien le quedó alguna duda en esta parte. Básicamente, Priya, gracias, estaba comentándonos por unos enlaces que realmente son vitales, son enlaces que usamos prácticamente en nuestro día a día y bueno, les será muy útiles en esta hackathon. La primera parte es el Academy. El Academy es totalmente como si fuera una universidad, tenemos acceso a una serie de cursos totalmente gratis. Realmente todos los cursos son gratis, vienen muy completos, cómo ir haciendo cada paso. Realmente es casi un tutorial de las diferentes herramientas donde podemos aprender a cómo utilizarlas, hacer ejercicios. Realmente es súper útil. Y algo interesante de la academia es que ustedes pueden aprender cursos específicos o ustedes también pueden decir, yo quiero aprender en mi rol quiero que aprender desarrollador. Les recomiendo una serie de cursos para desarrolladores, para business analysts, para solution architect, ¿verdad? Entonces, depende de su rol, les va a sugerir también una serie de cursos y va a ser súper útil. Entonces, totalmente recomendado el UiPath Academy para que puedan aprender muchísimo más de esas herramientas de UiPath. Por otra parte, también, si ustedes tienen alguna duda, consulta, el UiPath Forum. Casi que si ustedes siempre ponen en Google cómo hacer tal cosa en UiPath, la referencia siempre va a estar en el foro, es súper completo. Entonces, casi que les digo que si tienen algún issue, algún error, lo van a encontrar en el UiPath Forum. Y si no, pueden también ustedes ingresar su nueva consulta y ahí se le puede, le van a contestar. Súper importante. Y el marketplace va a ser como si fuéramos tener una tienda ahí en nuestro celular cuando descargamos aplicaciones, pero de UiPath. Y podemos descargar código ya existente, precargado, que ya tiene ciertas funcionalidades que nos van a permitir acelerar nuestro desarrollo para simplificar las cosas. Entonces también hay cosas muy interesantes en el marketplace que tal vez puedan darle un vistazo. Y finalmente el UiPath Community, que muy importante porque en las comunidades pueden encontrar este tipo de eventos locales. En Costa Rica tenemos un chapter, entonces siempre es importante que estén de cerca de la comunidad para ver qué eventos hay, qué oportunidades tenemos, ¿verdad? Entonces es muy, muy importante. Thank you, Priya. I think you can continue.
Thank you. I think that's it like for the session. So myself, I'm Priya Esteves. I've been an MVP. And if you want to reach out, like please reach out to me on my LinkedIn, and like we'll be happy to share our knowledge like going forward. So if you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me, Josue, or Sebastian, or Diana. And we'll be like happy to help you out.
Thank you so much, Priya. That was wonderful.
Thank you, Diana.
Any more questions on RPA training before Priya leaves?
No sé si alguien tiene alguna consulta antes de que cerremos esta parte. Ahí tenemos una pregunta en el chat, creo que de David, que si pueden confirmar un link del Training Center. Y tal vez ahí, David, ahí puedes filtrar por producto y demás y puedes llegar también a temas específicos o también puedes buscar por rol.
They want the link to the Academy Center.
Yes, correct.
I'll put it there. Hold on.
Yeah, like a specific training for this. No sé si alguien más tiene alguna otra consulta. Hay que dejar un mensaje de parte de Rose.
There you go.
Ujú. Sí, parece que de momento no hay más consultas. Ah, okay. Those, I will cover one question. Let's see. Okay. We have a question about a team change. Like someone was looking for at the forum how to find a team member, but she doesn't know how to handle this.
Okay, let me answer that. So, because I've got a couple questions around this, I'm going to just share my screen here.
Yeah, and I think just to stop you, don't mean to
Yep.
do this, but is anybody else need Priya for anything? Because I know she has some other commitments. Or can we let her leave, Jose?
Yeah,
I'm also here to help Diana if there's any other questions that Priya can't cover.
Okay. Thank you so much, Priya.
All right.
Thank you, Priya.
Happy automating.
Thanks, Priya.
Uh,
Okay, yeah. So just let me answer a couple things just regarding the community forums and whatnot. So I'm going to share my screen just so everyone can see this here. We've put the link to this in chat a couple times. We'll put it in again, just so everyone has it. But we have a community a forum set up for this hackathon. I've sent out requests to, I think, almost everybody. There may be a few that I'll need to go through later today just to also get added in. So you'll be able to see all the members that are in here. You should have received an email link if that's the case. If you haven't, when you come to the UiPath Forum, all you need to do at the top, just search for Costa Rica, and you'll see this Costa Rica Hackathon. Click on that, and if you're not a member, you should see a request to get added in. Put that request in. We'll then get it at that point to be able to accept you into it. Otherwise, like I said, check your email. You may have an invite link in there as well already to bring you into here. Once you're here, you're not going to necessarily see all the same things that I can see here since I'm an admin on here, but you should see a messages tab. If you come in here, this is where you can come in. You'll be able to create new messages if you want to, so create a new thread basically. But we did create a couple posts in here already. So there's one in here with some hackathon information and helpful links that you guys can come in and click on, take you to things like the UiPath Academy, as well as some of the video recordings and our office hours. And then we had this question come up yesterday. If you are not part of a team yet, or if you're on a team, you've reached out, you're just not getting a response from anybody yet. If you want to get added to a new team, there's a thread that I've created here called Looking for a Team, post here. You can come in and you can just reply to this thread, add your information here, just let people know who you are, put your email, let them know that you're looking for a team, and then you can work with some people. Or if you see somebody that's already posted, Lucia has posted here that they're looking for 2 people. You can post a reply to her or message directly and just say, hey, I'd love to join your team. Here's my email. And then you can get onto a team that way. So this will just help people if they need to, if they're not on a team, they want to get on one, or if they wanted to switch teams because they're not getting responses, whatever that might look like. I hope that helps answer that question that somebody had.
Sí, Gretchen, no sé si quedó pues ahí claro. También ahí Emilio te escribió que le puedes escribir para hacer equipo, pero bueno, básicamente lo que estamos viendo acá es la importancia del foro, cómo acceder. Ustedes deberían ya tener acceso a esta parte, ya deberían estar inscritos al grupo del Costa Rica Hackathon. Si no están en el search bar, pueden typear, pueden escribir el Costa Rica Hackathon y deberían ver si no está en el grupo, darle clic en unirse al grupo y van a ver esa parte de mensajes que ya previamente ya tenemos dos partes. Un post es precisamente eso, estás buscando un equipo, pues de escribir ahí, estoy buscando equipo o nos falta un miembro, ¿verdad? Depende de lo que esté buscando. Y este UiPath Forum va a ser un mecanismo muy importante de comunicarse, digamos, tanto con nosotros como con cualquier persona del hackathon, ¿verdad? Entonces va a ser muy importante que tengan acceso a eso y que puedan estar consultándolo de manera frecuente.
Perfect. Okay.
We good?
Diana, you want to?
Yeah, just one other thing, Josue, would you
Mhm.
ask anybody if they have not joined the hackathon, if they need any help doing that at this point? And then just share the URL if you need to, but we'd like everybody who's going to register just to go ahead and do that.
Yeah, sure, sure. Bueno, básicamente, no sé si todos ya tienen el link de la hackathon, pero bueno, sería genial que puedan poder unirse al hackathon como tal, más allá del entrenamiento este que vimos con Priya, sería genial si se pueden unir y pues vamos a volver a poner ahí el enlace. Diana, could you
Yeah, I'm
write
going to
that?
find it and put it in there
Yeah.
one more time. Yep.
Sí, es muy importante que se puedan unir ahí y puedan vivir esta experiencia porque esto es lo que los va a hacer ustedes realmente poner en práctica las cosas, lo que realmente los va a hacer investigar, ponerse en contacto con nosotros, ver qué impedimentos tiene y realmente cuando ya uno se pone en la práctica es así donde uno puede aprender más y esto créanme que va a ser una experiencia muy enriquecedora para ustedes, para sus currículos y bueno, es un área muy bonita para poder aprender.
Great. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen then. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about the hackathon. So we just want to welcome you to the Costa Rica Training and RPA and AI Hackathon session. This isn't your typical hackathon. This is, it's fully virtual with an in-person component for finalists. So even though we're doing the training online, the event itself for the finalists will be at the Senfotech Center in San Jose, Costa Rica. And you'll meet some of the UiPath and Greenlight Consulting people there. Do you want to say that, Josue?
Yeah, for sure. Bueno, esta hackathon, como ustedes ven la dinámica propiamente, no es solamente como los desafíos y también se ofrece como esa parte de introducción a la herramienta, estas sesiones y adicionalmente ustedes pueden recibir apoyo de nuestro equipo, ¿verdad? En sesiones donde nos podemos conectar. Si ustedes están teniendo algún problema, no saben cómo hacer una parte en específico, llegaron a un punto y ahí no pueden continuar por algún impedimento técnico o demás, la idea es que nosotros les podamos ayudar y que eso no sea un obstáculo en poder completar sus desafíos. Y bueno, aquí vamos a ver más adelante 3 diferentes categorías, más una categoría bonus y adicionalmente las personas finalistas van a ser invitadas a presentar sus proyectos propiamente a la Universidad de Cefotec acá en San José, Costa Rica.
Great. And then just so they know, UiPath courses are available anytime, not just for this hackathon, but anytime for free. So everything they are doing for the hackathon is free, but we do have courses in English and Spanish that are always free. And they can access them anytime they want.
Sí, aquí van a ver que preferiblemente va a ser, puede hacer sus proyectos en inglés, también puede hacerlos en español, pero es importante ahí que visiten esta página que ahí está el enlace, creo que ya lo van a compartir, pero también van a poder ver después las grabaciones y demás en cualquier momento.
Okay, we're going through the training now. But after this, next week and the following week, we will have virtual office hours. If in case that they're stuck or need some help, please come to those and we'll have information. We put information in the chat on that.
Can I already mention about the virtual office hours? No, I think you can continue.
Okay. And you will formulate your own problem station and solution. Lewis will go through that in just a little bit. Great. I'm going to go to the next slide. So right now, this is where we are. We're at the training sessions. The following weeks, we'll be doing office hours that you can join. And then the important thing is that everything is due Thursday, September 7th. That's when your submission date is due. And then after that, we will review the proposals. And in a week, we will announce the finalists who will then come to in person to Semfotech University, at least one person from your team. And that I want them to block their calendars for Saturday, September 23rd.
Aquí podemos ver cuáles son las fechas claves. Ya hemos pasado algunas sesiones y ahorita justamente estamos en la sesión del el 26 de agosto. ¿Y qué es lo que sigue? Muy importante, vamos a tener 3 office hours en el cual básicamente van a ser sesiones en las que ustedes se unen, si pueden mostrar el progreso o si tienen algún impedimento técnico, algún bloqueo para poder seguir en sus proyectos. Y en esas sesiones, pues básicamente la idea es como que puedan ustedes resolver eso y que puedan seguir trabajando, ¿verdad? Que nos, para completar en sí el desafío. Y muy importante que la fecha límite para hacer las entregas va a ser el 7 de septiembre y el 14 se van a anunciar, una semana después se van a anunciar cuáles son los finalistas. Y muy importante que puedan reservar esta fecha, el 23 de septiembre, porque sería la fecha que si son escogidos pueden ir a presentar a la Universidad de Infotec. Varias preguntas que les hacen es, ¿puede ir un solo miembro del equipo a presentar? No necesariamente tiene que ser todos, por si la idea es que fueran todos, pero si se les complica, por lo menos un miembro que pueda ir del equipo, ya con eso pues es suficiente.
Great, thanks. So here you'll see these in chat, but we've gone through the forum. We've gone through the office hour sessions and all these links. Make sure they copy them because they won't have access to this other than the forum after that.
Ahí estamos viendo ahí los enlaces propiamente. Es importante que ahorita si pueden copiarlos y guardarlos en bloc de notas o donde ustedes prefieran, porque cuando terminamos esta llamada en Zoom, pues ya el chat propiamente se pierde, ¿verdad? Entonces, importante que los guarden por ahí y que se puedan unir al que más les funcione.
And then in order to participate, you just need to be over 15 years old, either a student or an IT professional.
Esto está pues dirigido para cualquier persona que resida en Costa Rica, que sea mayor de 15 años y que pues, sea estudiante, puede ser estudiante, puede ser un profesional del área. And yeah, I think we have a question like Vanessa is asking about if we can see again. I don't know if it is the link, probably the previous
Yes.
slide. Yes. Will you share this in the?
Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah, it's in
Okay.
chat too.
Mhm.
It's already there. But
Yeah.
that's yeah.
Thank you.
That's why we want to make sure that they copy the whole
Mhm.
chat. Because we won't have a copy of that. So please make sure that they copy the chat with all the useful information in there.
Awesome. I think yeah. You
Yeah.
can continue. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We've got that. So a team can be anything from 1 to 4 people. And all the directions for submission are on the site for the hackathon. Your presentation and video can be in English, which is our preference, but it can be in Spanish, and make sure the people on the call understand that we will accept it if it's in Spanish.
Básicamente ustedes pueden hacer equipos de una persona a 4 y bueno, ahí vamos a especificar que las instrucciones y ahorita las vamos a ir viendo de qué tienen que ir en sus entregables y sus presentaciones pueden ser en inglés de preferencia, pero si esto al final va a ser una limitante para ustedes, también pueden ser perfectamente en español, si se sienten más cómodas en español, no hay ningún problema con eso, ¿verdad?
Great. And your solution must include either UiPath Studio, UiPath Studio X, or UiPath Studio Web.
De las soluciones que vimos anteriormente con PRIA, como Studio X o Studio Web, cualquiera de esas tres, ustedes la pueden utilizar en sus soluciones, pero su presentación debe incluir al menos uno de estos herramientas para la solución del trabajo.
Okay. And then our schedule is very tight. So we need to make sure that all timelines must be abided by. So in other words, we can't take any late submissions. If it's not in by midnight Costa Rica time, we can't take it.
Sí, asegúrense de hacer sus entregas en la fecha límite, antes de la fecha límite, va a ser medianoche hora de Costa Rica. No se van a poder aceptar proyectos después de esa fecha, entonces por favor asegúrense de hacer las entregas correspondientes.
So only one member of the team needs to submit all the files, but every member of the team needs to register for the hackathon separately.
Es importante que todos los miembros del equipo se unan al registrarse a la hackathon, pero cuando hagan sus entregas, únicamente un único miembro haga la entrega del mismo, no es solo una entrega por proyecto.
And you can submit more than one solution as a participant or a team.
Y ustedes también no necesariamente pueden subir más de una solución, ya sea de manera individual o como equipo, pueden tener varias soluciones y ambas soluciones van a participar.
If anyone on your team, and you still want to participate, if anyone on your team did not take the training, you can give them the URL to this session and have them watch it, and that will count.
Ujú. Básicamente, si alguien del equipo de ustedes no pudo unirse a estas sesiones, ni la de ayer tampoco, porque ayer también hubo unas igual a esta, pueden pasarle la grabación de esta sesión y ellos también va a valer, digamos, y lo pueden tener en su equipo.
Thank you. And do you want to go through these and tell why we're so excited that these are focused on Costa Rica?
Vamos de hecho, tenemos una pregunta en el chat. We have a question about the topics. Well, here's the categories. La primera categoría muy interesante es a nivel Costa Rica, que nos sentimos orgullosos. Algo que usted piense, ¿qué podría beneficiar a Costa Rica en términos de automatización, en temas de salud, temas de agricultura, del clima, algo histórico, cultural, ¿verdad? Entonces ahí, pues, no sé, algún bot que nos diga cuáles son los eventos culturales del mes, que nos mande por correo esa información, que nos esté calculando de manera planificada qué hacer en agricultura según el clima. Ahí lo bueno es como la imaginación de usted va a ser interesante. Diana, do you want me to cover all the categories or you
Yeah, I
want
would just
to?
cover the
Yeah.
titles and just tell them this is really for them to showcase Costa Rica. That's
Ujú.
why we picked these, so we're totally excited.
Ujú. Sí, las segundas categorías es más a nivel de comunidad, problemas que tengamos en nuestra comunidad, en nuestros barrios, temas que podamos utilizar también cosas de economía, es como grupos más reducidos tal vez, grupos más específicos tal vez. Eh, entonces esta parte también muy interesante de cómo podemos utilizar la automatización, tal vez para incluso aprender un idioma, problemas tal vez de salud mental, eh, incluso, no sé, algo que nos ayude a controlar nuestros ingresos, salidas. Entonces son como no tanto a nivel país, pero tal vez más a grupos específicos o nuestras propias comunidades. Y la tercera categoría, que es la categoría de estudiantil, que básicamente es como cómo la automatización me puede ayudar a mí en mi día a día, digamos, estudiando. Tal vez no sé si yo tengo tareas repetitivas cuando estoy estudiando en la universidad, cosas tan simples como tal vez todos los días tengo que reservar en la biblioteca un campo y necesito el mejor campo, o que me ayude a hacer una automatización que me ayude a buscar horarios, a que me ayude a extraer información de los sitios web de la universidad, que a veces necesito estar consultando frecuentemente. Ahí también la creatividad pueden ver qué límites lo vamos a poner nosotros, digamos, en nuestra creatividad. Y también si tienen que, no estamos cortos de ideas, no sé cómo por dónde irme, pueden ver este link y ahí pueden ver ideas generales que se han hecho incluso en otros hackathons que ustedes tal vez puedan darse una idea y optarlo. Diana, yes, I just talk about the three categories and also the link for the more ideas and solutions
Great.
that we already have. Yeah.
Perfect. Oops.
Now you're drawing faces.
Oops, I think I clicked on something I shouldn't have.
Yeah, up at the top you'll see an X. You're just in annotation mode.
Okay. So bonus category, do you want to go through this, Josue?
Yeah, sure. Adicionalmente hay una categoría que va a ser de bonus, que va a ser básicamente que ustedes puedan utilizar alguna de las tecnologías de inteligencia artificial. Hay varias. Ustedes, aquí vemos el AI Center, por ejemplo, pero hay otras que, por ejemplo, el Document Understanding, que es una herramienta que nos ayuda a la lectura, clasificación y extracción de documentos de manera inteligente. Es bastante eficiente, es bastante amigable para utilizar. El uso es realmente sencillo. Tenemos un Clipboard AI, que básicamente es un poder copiar y pegar de un lado a otro de manera inteligente. Él puede detectar qué tipo de dato es, si es una tabla, en qué posiciones pegarlo. Inclusive si tenemos un Excel y tenemos un formulario en un sitio web, podemos llegar y aunque el formulario sea en diferentes fields, él va a ir copiando y pegando de un lado a otro de manera inteligente. Entonces estos son como la categoría bonus y básicamente es incluir alguno de estos productos que tenga la tecnología de inteligencia artificial.
Great. Okay. All right, and sorry, Josue, do you want to talk about the different categories, criteria as well?
Yeah, sure. Bueno, ¿y qué es lo que propiamente se les va a evaluar en esta hackathon? Bueno, aquí lo pueden ver de forma desglosada, donde los categorías más altas son, bueno, el impacto y la tecnología. El impacto son un 25%, ¿verdad? Que el impacto que está generando en sí la automatización, tanto para la sociedad, para el grupo específico, para el usuario final, ¿verdad? Es importante ese impacto, un 20% para el concepto disruptivo o innovador en sí de su automatización, ¿verdad? ¿Qué tan relevante es el problema que ustedes están proponiendo solucionar a través de la automatización? un 25% para la tecnología, que bueno, vamos ahí a ver ya un poquito temas de eficiencia, ya utilizando propiamente la herramienta de UiPath. A veces hay muchas formas de hacer las cosas, pero siempre hay formas más eficientes. Entonces esta categoría va a evaluar esta parte. Si ustedes logran completar la solución, ¿verdad? Ahí se les va a dar el 15% de esta parte y va a haber un 15% de presentación y video que, bueno, yo ahorita más adelante, no se preocupen, vamos a mencionar que tienen que incluir sus entregables y demás. Y bueno, ahí también la parte de la categoría, ¿verdad? Del bonus que les había comentado previamente. Y, y bueno, eso sería más que todo el criterio que se va a utilizar a nivel de evaluar sus proyectos.
Great,
Yo creo
thanks.
que, yeah.
So for the first three categories, UiPath will give $100 UiPath voucher. And the second prize will be a $50 USD gift card from Greenlight Consulting.
Aquí podemos ver los premios. En realidad va a ser para el primer lugar en todas las categorías, $100, un voucher de UiPath y 50 para el segundo lugar. Y eso, si ustedes son 4 miembros, por ejemplo, serían entonces $400.
Great. All finalists will receive a certificate.
Es importante que ustedes sepan que todos ustedes van a recibir un certificado de participación en este hackathon, que va a ser muy importante.
And then for the last category, the AI bonus prizes, they'll receive the first place prize will be $100 USD gift card from Greenlight Consulting. And the second prize will be a $50 USD gift card from Greenlight Consulting.
También la categoría de AI va a tener sus primero y segundo lugar, que va a ser $100 en un gift card y $50 para el segundo lugar por cortesía de Greenlight. Y una oportunidad también muy interesante de entrevista para un pasantía, ¿verdad? Que esto también es una oportunidad muy, muy buena.
Great. Okay, and then Louis, did you want to take over?
Yeah. So we just want to talk a little bit about the submission guidelines here. Diana's mentioned a couple times is the deadline for this is going to be September 7th at midnight. So if you are submitting by yourself or as a team, only one person needs to actually submit the end package. What this package is going to include is going to be some sort of process design document, which really is just going to be something very simple that says, talks about what your process is. So what the problem statement is that you're trying to solve, how you've built it, what that looks like. You can include workflows with this as well, just to kind of showcase what the flow of data and actions are supposed to be. Just something that basically at a glance, we can see and understand what your robot is supposed to be able to do. Within this, you're also going to include the project files. So these will be the XAML files that get created as part of when you build your project. You can just zip up the entire folder and then include that in the final package. There's going to be a PowerPoint presentation template that you're going to provide as well. We'll show you in a second where you can get a link to the presentation template. And then also there will be a video that we're going to ask you guys to provide, which will just kind of be like your presentation of what your problem statement is, what you're trying to solve, talk a little bit about the process in your team, and then just show kind of a video recording of your solution working. So you can just record the robot going to the different screens and what that's going to look like. If you do use any additional scripts or files as part of your process that you're building, make sure those are included as well. The idea being when we get these files, we want to be able to run them ourselves as well to make sure everything works, what it looks like. So if we don't have those files and they're required, we're not going to be able to run it. So just make sure that those get added also.
Aquí nos están comentando sobre qué tiene que entregar los entregables, que les había comentado, tiene que ser el 7 de septiembre antes de las 11:59 y Muy importante que no sean a recibir proyectos después de esa hora para poder cumplir todos los tiempos del hackathon, y también que tiene que incluir sus proyectos para que no sean rechazados. Es importante, hay un documento que se llama el PDD, que es el Process Design Document, por sus siglas, que básicamente ahí se describe qué es lo que hace la automatización un poquito, cuáles son los pasos a paso. Hay un template para eso, inclusive también pueden usar una herramienta de UiPath que se llama Task Capture. Tienen que incluir, cuando ustedes trabajan en estudio y demás, eso pueden, y si trabajan en estudio web, ustedes pueden descargar el proyecto también a nivel de sus máquinas. Eso les va a generar una serie de archivos, algunos archivos tipo JSON, que es la configuración del proyecto, y también unos archivos tipo XAML, que esos archivos todos tienen que incluirlos. Muy importante. Adicionalmente hay una presentación que tienen que construir, que básicamente es utilizar un template que se les va a proveer, y un video hablando, bueno, un video demostrando su automatización funcionando. Ese video, pues ojalá que no sea más de 5 minutos. Por ejemplo, si ustedes están procesando 100 elementos, ¿verdad? Porque son tareas repetitivas, por lo menos el video que cubra la ejecución de un par de esas transacciones, de un par de esos registros, y que no se exceda los 5 minutos. Y también si ustedes utilizaron un script de, no sé, por ejemplo, un macro, una función macro, lo que sea externo, también que lo incluyan en esta parte.
Okay. Next page. Diana? Oh, there we go. Perfect. Thank you. So part of helping you guys identify a use case that you are going to use for your project, we just have some quick tips or considerations that you can think of when you're trying to do this. So usually with these types of automations, you're looking to build something that's going to be very high volume or have some sort of high time savings to it. Maybe it's a process that normally takes you 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour to be able to do. If you could automate that and just let it kind of process in the back end, that's a great way to save some time. Otherwise, it could be something where you have a high volume. Maybe you have a list of 100 different records that you need to input into some system. And if you can just build the automation to do that, it's going to run through them again and again without you having to do a lot of copying and pasting. So any sort of repetitive process or repetitive actions that you need to do, these make really great use cases for automations. And for when you're looking for ideas, just look at things that you or maybe other people you work with or that you're going to school with that they're doing it every single day. You know, something that can just be improved by that. We've had one in the past where a team of students, they looked at locally here, they were looking at the times that public libraries were open. So they compared it to the city site versus the actual library sites, and trying to make sure did they actually match up. And where they didn't match up, it would actually create an email, send that email to the city for them to update the website appropriately. So it's just something that they could run once a month, once every quarter, something like that. But it can help keep things up to date. So those are the types of ideas of things that you might want to look at. Additionally, think about what kind of the UiPath products that you're going to want to use. So the majority of the UiPath products are available to you guys. Not everything's going to necessarily make sense for the automation that you're going to build. It's very unlikely that you guys would use, for example, the UiPath communication mining product, because it's not going to make sense for these types of solutions that we're looking at. But something like document understanding, where you're reading PDF documents, extracting information from them, that might be something that's really important and specific to the process that you're looking at. So just take a look at the products, what they can actually do, see which ones might fit to the ideas of what you want to look at. And then additionally, we do have there's some actual use cases that are available. The link here will take you to our community site, but I'll make sure to put this in chat as well. There are some previous hackathons. You can actually go back and take a look at some of the use cases that they've done and see if maybe there's something similar that you can do for yours that you might want to take a look at.
Aquí estamos viendo como qué consideraciones o qué casos de uso podemos utilizar en RPA, esto nos va a ayudar a elegir qué hacer en esta hackathon. Más que todo, siempre que tengamos procesos o tareas que sean repetitivas, tareas que usualmente tienen una serie de pasos finita, sabemos cuándo empieza, cuándo termina, tal vez tomamos decisiones según basadas en datos, hacemos una cosa así, pasa esto u otra, y que el volumen de procesamiento sea ojalá alto, ¿verdad? Yo no sé si les ha pasado a ustedes que a veces tienen que agarrar una lista de información y ir a digitarla a un sitio y es casi que copiar y pegar. Entonces, ahí estamos haciendo algo repetitivo, por ejemplo, y es volúmenes altos. Entonces, todo ese tipo de cosas sean consideradas para sus casos de uso en esta hackathon, porque son procesos que van a ser, o tareas que van a ser candidatas a automatizaciones. Y también, o sea, puede ser algo que usted diga, esto lo toca hacer todos los días, o tal vez algo que usted dice, esto no lo toca hacer todos los días, pero yo sé que una vez a la semana me toca hacerla y me consume parte de muy mecánico, pues, o inclusive algo que tengan que hacer una vez al mes, ¿verdad? Pero por lo menos siempre son las mismas tareas al final del mes. Y adicionalmente, hay una serie de productos que tenemos todos disponibles, ¿verdad? Mayoritariamente, pero no necesariamente es que vamos a utilizar todos esos productos en nuestra solución. Por ejemplo, en la tarea propiamente de Communication Mining, para extraer tonos, identificar emociones, posiblemente no necesariamente la vayan a utilizar si están haciendo algo relacionado con Excel o con enviar correos, tal vez no necesiten propiamente esta parte. Entonces, es como utilizar únicamente lo que necesiten. Y también, si quieren ver otros casos de uso exitosos que generan impacto, pueden visitar este link para tener más idea de qué otras soluciones pueden integrar a este hackathon.
Perfect. Thank you.
¿Mm?
So some tips for around your presentation deck and the video that you guys will be providing. So these are just kind of high level of what you should kind of put inside your presentation. So I mentioned it before, but state what your problem statement is. Let us know, what's the issue that you're trying to actually solve with this automation. Talk a little bit about your proposed solution, what it's actually supposed to be doing, and what the outcome is supposed to look like. Mention any of the technologies that you're using so this will also include any of the UiPath products, as well as if you're using a third-party service at any point, make sure that you indicate those. Talk a little bit about what the results and impact. So by doing this automation, putting the solution in place, what is that impact going to be? Additionally, if there's a way that you can see that this could scale even further, maybe you're just, you're building this as a small proof of concept just to kind of showcase what this could do. But if this could scale up, what would that actually look like? And then the last two pieces are just around solution architecture. So I mentioned this before, just give us some flows, images, something that just shows us what this process is supposed to look like, all the kind of pieces involved with it. So we have a good, clear understanding of it. And then finally, for the demo, just create a presentable prototype, something that you can put in a video to show how this all works, as well as within your actual solution itself that you're going to build out, something that we're going to be able to run and see all the different components of it running through everything. So really the big thing around this is basically being able to effectively communicate what your solution is actually doing, what the value of it is, and how it can really help or accomplish whatever the benefits and goals are that you're looking at.
Que acá podemos ver como algunos consejos para la presentación y el video, incluir un resumen de qué es el problema que ustedes están tratando de resolver. Es importante que tengan bien claro eso, qué es lo que van a resolver y tener un scope definido para esto. La solución como tal, cuál es la solución que ustedes están proponiendo, cuál es la manera de abordar el problema, las tecnologías que están utilizando también para resolver este problema, qué producto están utilizando, cuáles fueron los resultados e impactos de su automatización, ¿verdad? Demostrar cómo su automatización puede salvar, tal vez, si a un humano le toma cierto tiempo, lo hacemos por un robot, cuánto tiempo salva y demás, eso también puede incluirlo en esta parte. y la parte de arquitectura de la solución, que ahí pueden opcionalmente mostrar tal vez como un diagrama, alguna imagen de qué es lo que está utilizando para la arquitectura de sus soluciones. Y al final el demo, ¿verdad? Que pueda ilustrar qué es lo que están haciendo, cuál es como la funcionalidad de la automatización y ver que están en sí cumpliendo lo que querían solucionar desde un inicio.
Perfect. Okay, so for next steps, we've provided these links and we'll provide them again for you guys. There's going to be some links for the UiPath forums. So I mentioned before, there are previous hackathons that have happened. People have posted their use cases on those forums. So we'll put this link into chat for you as well. So you can go there, you can see what type of other use cases people have done in the past. That might help spark an idea for you of something you want to do. Make sure to sign up for your UiPath community instance that Priya walked through earlier so that you're able to get your own robot that you can build your automations for. And then the UiPath Academy, where you can go get some free courses. So we noted a couple here that just kind of are getting started, but there's literally dozens of different courses that are up there. All of them are free for you to take, so you can go through and you can learn about all the different UiPath products, as well as some of the things around like business analysis, how you look for great automations, things like that. So whatever you want to learn from there, you can just start taking it from that point and run forward. Additionally, Diana's mentioned this before, please make sure you register for this hackathon. We'll put the links into chat at the end of this. Everyone on your team needs to be registered, so please make sure that gets done. And other than that, just go ahead and start your projects, get going on there. If you have any questions that come up, we'll put this link in here too. This goes directly to the Costa Rica Hackathon forum group, so you can post any questions that you might have there. I have been chatting with a couple people that are maybe having a couple issues with posting messages on there, trying to get that resolved, so that if you do have that problem, please just reach out and we'll try to get that solved for you. And then other than that, we've mentioned that there are going to be office hours. So next Tuesday and then the Tuesday and Wednesday following that, they'll be available. You'll be able to sign up for those. Again, we'll put those links in chat so you can actually get registered for those.
Sí, acá, bueno, vemos qué es lo que sigue ahora, ¿verdad? Entonces, bueno, si pueden estudiar por ustedes mismos los casos de uso, inscribirse a la Academy, este entrenamiento para introducción a RPA es súper bueno, si realmente no tienen ningún conocimiento previo. También puede inscribirse a la comunidad. A estos enlaces los vamos a compartir también nuevamente. Y importante que empiecen ya sus proyectos, que hagan el registro a la Hackathon, es súper importante. Y que se puedan unir tal vez a alguna sesión de lo que se llama Office Hour, que en estas sesiones básicamente pues vamos a contestar sus preguntas. Entonces es importante que ya pues vayan empezando sus proyectos, que tengan definido y también utilicen estos espacios para que puedan aclarar cualquier duda o consulta que tengan. Alexandra is asking about the links for the office hours.
Yeah, we'll put those in the chat in a moment.
Ya los vamos a compartir nuevamente, los enlaces de los office hours.
Okay. Next page. Perfect. Actually, I think this is you, Diana.
Yeah, I already put this in the chat, but tomorrow the recording for this session will be available. I put the recording for yesterday's session already in the chat, so they can look for that tomorrow. That'll be available at that link.
Sí, esos enlaces los van a volver a compartir para que ustedes, y también hay que hacer las consultas, las grabaciones también van a estar disponibles. Diana, will we include the presentation as well?
Yes, that will be available on this tab as well.
También vamos a compartir las presentaciones para que todos ustedes la tengan por ahí.
Great, and I think that's it. And then Louis, I don't know if you want to show them the website.
Yeah, let's let me put that on there.
Let me stop sharing.
I will share my screen. All right, so a couple of the sites. So this is the main registration site. So if you guys come here, please make sure you register for this event. You have until August 31st to get registered. This contains all the information that we've talked about today. So it goes through the different categories that we have. There are some example problem statements that are in here and solution ideas. So if you're just looking for something to kind of prompt you, you can come in here, you can take a look, see what's here, and use them as kind of a guideline for you. There's some links to information, so about the UiPath platform, the marketplace components, so you can come here and see all that as well, and for how to sign up for the UiPath community environment that you're going to need to be able to build your automations. We talk about who can participate, when your registration needs to get done by. Sorry, the date here is, ignore this date. August 31st is our registration date. Pricing that's on here, and any of the important dates to remember. So things like the workshops that we're doing today, when our deadline is, September 14th will be when we notify the finalists, and then we'll have the live finale in Costa Rica and San Jose on September 23rd. Judging criteria is listed here as well, and all the submission guidelines. So this goes back to the part that I was talking about around what you need to submit or what that's going to look like. So there's a couple links on here. The presentation is going to be a PowerPoint template that you can open and download. So this will just give you a guideline you can add to it. Try to keep this to no more than 10 slides, please. But there are some setups in there for, like, hey, tell us about your problem statement, show us your workflows. If you want to add in your video to it as well, you can do that. And then in terms of once you have all your solution documents together, you've built your automations, you're going to want to zip all of these up together. If you can, please name your zip file using this format that's listed in here, just as something so we can easily identify what team this is, what your project's for, and everything. And when you go to submit, there's another link on here, and we'll make sure to put this one in the chat as well. This will be your final submission link. So once you have everything together, you're going to come to this Office, Microsoft Office form, and you're going to submit your information here. So this will be where you're going to put your team leader, the name of your team, email address of the team, and then all the different team members that are part of your group. So you don't have to register your team beforehand. This is just upon submission. We just want to know who's part of this submitted package, so we know who we'll have to contact as part of the finalists and everything. There'll be a couple different pieces of information here that we're going to ask as well. So what category did you pick? I noted this yesterday, I forgot to go update it. I will add the bonus category in here for the AI driving side of it. Tell us a little bit of information about your project. Link to your the UiPath use case form. So we do ask, once you've provided or created that package, go post it on the UiPath Forum. The links are also back on the previous page for where you can post those. And then just put that link in here as well. Just so this is something that, again, in the future for other hackathons, other people can come and see some of the ideas that you guys have built. They can use that as well. This really helps UiPath with kind of growing their community. Mention any of the UiPath products that you have utilized throughout your solution. If you don't see one in here, listed in here that you used, that's fine. Just make note of that inside your presentation. And then just note any of the additional public libraries that you might have used, any scripting that you might have used, anything like that. And then for the actual submission of the file, we do ask, so that zip file that you create, we need to be able to download it from somewhere. So please make sure that it is in a publicly accessible spot, whether that be something like a Google Drive that you provide us access to, or a Dropbox, GitHub, something that we can actually just go to be able to download the package file with everything in it. And then you submit this, and this will be your final piece. Josue, I'll go back here so you can go through this stuff.
Bueno, aquí, por eso es lo importante de que puedan visitar la parte esta de la comunidad y que se hayan registrado aquí, porque van a poder ver también toda la información que les hemos compartido en la presentación, también se les va a compartir la presentación, pero bueno, si quieren repasar las categorías, si quieren repasar el tema de los cases, de qué días tomar y demás, ahí van a encontrar absolutamente todo. Adicionalmente, acá pueden encontrar el template para hacer las entregas de la presentación, donde tienen que subir el proyecto, enlaces importantes de la parte del Cloud Community, o sea, el orchestrator que vimos en entrenamiento propiamente, y pueden repasar también lo que es los premios y demás. Entonces, casi que todo lo que vimos en la presentación, pues esta es la parte a modo resumen que pueden encontrar en esta sesión, y también las fechas que son importantes, que ahí vienen en esta parte, las fechas y que lo que se va a evaluar, probablemente casi que todo lo que hablamos en la presentación, pues aquí también lo van a poder encontrar. Sí es importante que, como les había comentado, que solo un miembro del equipo haga la entrega del proyecto y cumpliendo los tiempos de entrega, y que cumplan este nombre que había, el nombre del proyecto, aquí donde estamos, please could you highlight the name of the submission, the template?
This part?
No,
Oh, this part.
no, the below, like, what is,
Sorry.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, this one, yeah. Es importante que traten de que sigan ese estándar para sus proyectos, y bueno, y también viene el enlace propiamente ya para hacer la entrega de sus proyectos, donde habíamos visto que es un formulario de Microsoft Forms, Google Forms es ajá. Y ahí pues van a tener que completar todas las informaciones, nombre del líder, toda la información del tenant, del orchestrator, el correo, y ir completando todos la información que viene en el form, toda la información requerida. También si ustedes qué productos utilizaron, y finalmente también ahí van a tener que completar si necesitan que darnos acceso a algo externo, algún Dropbox, algo que ustedes utilizaron como recurso adicional, es importante que nos lo hagan a saber. Y ahí también viene ya propiamente la parte de la sumisión del proyecto. Y ahí viene también lo del nombre del proyecto, que esa parte es muy importante. Sí. Y bueno, prácticamente le dan entregar y listo.
Perfect.
Ujú.
Diana, was there anything else that we wanted to
Just,
go over?
no, I think we just open it up for any questions anybody has.
Ya estamos terminando. No sé si alguien tiene alguna consulta. Any questions before we are leaving today?
Well, great and good luck. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Happy
much.
weekend.